Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Down Now podcast. I am your host, Brendan, and today I'm joined by Stefan.
Oh, yes.
And Hunter.
I'm the Lord of Trash.
Hey, dude, don't steal Danny DeVito memes.
Hey, he's the trash man. I'm the Lord of Trash.
Oh, shit, dude. I didn't know there was, like, a hierarchy to this shit.
There is, dude.
In the trash compound, somewhere deep within the recesses of waste management.
Lies the Lord of Trash.
The Lord of Trash. On his trash throne.
Yeah, dude.
Alright. Welcome. Today, I think, didn't we say last episode what we were going to do today?
Did we?
Yeah,
I think so. But we're going to start out because...
people don't listen to this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Yeah. Nobody listens. Thank you, listeners, if you're listening.
Yeah, whoever
maybe
does,
you're asleep right now. Maybe we need to sing sweet comforts to you. But we're not going to do that.
No.
Instead, we're going to talk about some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Star Wars week celebration, whatever it was, came out. They had a couple trailers drop, you might have noticed. Episode 9. Mandalorian. I hate that name. It's so dumb.
The Mandalorian?
No. Rise of Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker? It is dumb. Why?
It makes less sense than the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, it does.
And even then, like, after you watch the movie, you're like, I guess.
Yeah.
You know,
what title do you hate more? Solo? A Star Wars story? Or Rise of the Skywalker?
Rise of the Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
At least Solo told you what you're getting
Solo,
into.
Yeah, because it's like, it's about Solo. This one is just like...
You could put Rise of Skywalker on any Star Wars
movie,
and it would work.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like a bootleg.
It does.
It does. That's what I was like. I was like, really? You went with this?
Like some Indian, bootleg copy of Star Wars.
That was my first thought. I thought it was a fan-made film when I first started watching the trailer, and I saw the title over the video before it actually started playing. I was like, oh.
I was like, episode 9 dropped. That's a dumb title. That's how it goes. It's like one after the another. Like, Phantom Menace, Rise of Skywalker, works. Episode 2, Rise of Skywalker, works. Of course, not in that order. And then episode 3, I guess it wouldn't work, but you just say the Fall of Skywalker.
Yeah.
And it could technically also be a Rise of Skywalker because Luke and Leia. Episode 4, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, same thing with 5.
Episode 5, Rise of Skywalker.
Episode 6,
Rise of Skywalker, and it'd be even better there.
Yeah.
Episode 8, Gradual Decline of Skywalker.
Gradual Decline of Skywalker. Old Grumpy Skywalker, the movie.
Low Trainwreck.
Trainwreck.
Do we have... we got a little off. Do we have any other homework to take care of before we jump into this?
Dude, homework. I haven't been in school in, forever, dude. Fuck off.
I mean, just, what do people...
Nerds.
Nerds?
No, I mean, that's literally it. Dark Phoenix is coming out. Dark Phoenix sucks. There's some horror movies coming out this weekend. Shazam came out. Hellboy came out. I haven't seen any of them, but apparently Hellboy sucks ass.
Yeah, I know. I was
Which is disappointing, but... Oh, Pet Sematary come out.
I'm excited. Oh, yeah, that came out. I need to go see that. I
haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, Hellboy right now has a 5.4 on IMDb and a 31 Metascore. God damn.
I'm curious if it's like Venom bad or how bad are we talking?
I don't even think it's Venom bad.
Is it
Who directed it? It's
watch?
not Guillermo.
No,
it's the guy that did The Descent.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, he also did Dog Soldiers and Centurion.
Yeah, I love that movie.
And he was an actor in Game of Thrones. That's weird. No, he did
Who
Lost
is
in
it?
Space. Oh, he did Westworld episodes. Well, he did
he
Hannibal
did the,
episodes. He did Constantine episode. He did Game of Black City. God, this guy's been around.
Yeah, he did the 2. He did Battle of Blackwater, that episode, and then he did the.
Are you kidding?
Wall episode.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was only written by. I mean, it was, written by. Oh, let's see what this guy did. This. I see the problem. 2 Guns, couple episodes of Eureka, and that's it. I found the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, Two Guns. Oh no, he didn't even write Two Guns. He was a producer on Two Guns. But
So
he did write
Eureka.
Eureka. I liked Eureka. There's literally no description for this guy. This is kind of scary.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that makes sense.
Anyways, yeah, I'm guessing that's where the fault lies, is in the writing, not anything else. Although I did hear that some things like CGI scenes look kind of bad. But I mean, then again, I have no idea. That's what I heard. It could be the best movie I've ever seen. Who knows?
I don't have faith. I was, and then it's getting slammed, and I'm like, ooh.
I've lost faith in all movies after. Never mind.
After.
I'll bring it up after the podcast. But
Okay.
Anyways.
Jumanji.
No, not Jumanji. Fuck
Oh.
off.
Medea?
Brother Bear.
All right. So Star Wars Episode 9. The trailer was meh.
Eh.
It was
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams to the maximum.
It was. Yeah, doesn't show you anything.
Doesn't show you anything.
Just shows you a couple cool shots.
Yeah, it's like,
nice lens flare.
Yeah, nice lens flare. Yeah, that's the
Was there a
first thing
lens
I
flare?
noticed.
There wasn't a big lens flare, but
Well, yeah, you never
I
saw
think it
any
was-
direct sources of lights because it was all sweeping shots.
yeah. Which, I mean, it still looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
But, man, I don't know.
Yeah. I lost faith in Disney a long time ago.
I'm not excited. The only reason I'm not excited about it because I have no indication that there's a big ass war going on. Like that's what I wanted. Like that was the cool thing about.
You wanted Star Wars, and you wanted wars.
I wanted
in your
an
Star
actual-
Wars.
Yeah.
What the fuck,
Oh,
Hunter?
that's crazy. That's a crazy thought to go. I want some wars in my Star Wars, but it doesn't look like we're gonna. It looks like we're just gonna get like an adventure movie, which
You know, yeah. The more you say that, the more I realize like this new sequel hasn't really been a war. More of like
no.
3 ships being like, "You're stupid. You're stupid."
Yeah.
So what's the overarching opinion on the trailer by the fan base? Are they
I don't
excited
know.
for it?
I haven't paid attention to it.
From what I've
There's that
seen,
one guy that
it's
cried.
yeah, there's the one guy who cried. I'm sure you've all seen that. If you haven't, it's fucking hilarious.
Go find it.
I don't even understand it really. He just balls at like everything. Like I think he's just excited Star Wars is a movie. If I'm be honest,
Yeah.
I don't think he actually was
Yeah.
like thought about it. I
Like-
think he was just like, that's the music playing. There goes my cry balls or my cry
Yeah.
my eyeballs.
Maybe he went to prison for like 30 years and he finally got out and he's like, I remember, I love the. That was
Maybe he's never
Well-
never seen a different movie other than Star Wars.
I could understand maybe for Force Awakens, like crying. Like when I
Yeah.
saw that trailer the first time, I was like, I lost my shit.
That was
But,
a hold your breath moment. You're right.
Yeah, but Episode 9. I'm more.
Well, I
like,
mean, to be fair, the guy does like Episode 8, so who knows? He
I
could be
like
loco in the
Episode
cabeza.
8. I think it's watchable. I think it's okay. I think it's not as bad as. I don't think it's the worst film I've ever seen. I don't think it's the worst Star Wars film I've ever
Debatable.
seen.
Oh, now you're starting shit.
Now we're starting
Wait,
shit.
what's the worst Star Wars film then?
The worst one
Yeah,
is probably 1.
Phantom Menace, huh?
It is
See,
Phantom Menace.
I find Phantom Menace thousands times more watchable because at least when there's a lightsaber fight, there's a lightsaber
It's
fight,
cool.
and it's not fucking
Yeah.
stupid and badly
Yeah.
choreographed.
That is the only.
There's a lot more heart in Phantom Menace than there is in Episode 8. It feels like, to me. I mean,
yeah.
maybe it's just because the movie's so long.
The only thing I just don't like about. I don't know. Like
Anyways,
Phantom Menace is just garbage from the start. The ending is the last 30 minutes. Right? We talked about
Yeah.
this last time.
yeah, I think we did too. But the last. Anyways, let's get off that. Mandalorian trailer for that. Disney's new show that's coming out on their streaming service. Didn't they name it? Disney's new streaming service? Was it like
What's it called?
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus? Yeah.
Really?
So if you wanted
Yeah,
the
they were really
stupidest
creative.
name, we've got it tied between Star Wars and Disney. Oh wait, Disney and Disney classic.
Yeah.
So Mandalorian trailer, or not? Well, the trailer was leaked, or I guess the teaser for the trailer.
Teaser. Yeah.
And then they also had like a behind the scenes thing they released, and it was and
Yeah.
they showed like little bits of the scenes, and then it was the directors and writers talking and the actors, and I was like, okay, see you in a year.
I don't know
See
why
in 9 months.
they don't release it to the public though.
Dude, that pisses me off.
Because
The
everyone's
they
seeing
named it, like-
bootlegs,
yeah.
and
It's definitely scummy.
you're making your product look bad.
Well, this is stuff that they did maybe 20 years ago, where it was then the journalists, the reporters would go back and type up. They'd be the first person to type it up and put it on or whatever. But now it's like people are just gonna film it anyways. So there's gonna be just a shittier version of it. So people are just gonna see the shitty version of some dude with his, I don't know. It's always like a century-old phone
iPhone
for some
6.
reason. Yeah, like trying to film
Filming
the
it
thing.
vertical.
Yeah, and it's garbage, and it's like that's my first impression of this thing, you know, like that's what I see first. That's my first impression of it, and it's like it feels wrong. It doesn't feel right. Just release
makes
the
you
trailer.
Feel bad.
It does.
I mean, everyone's seen.
I don't
it.
really care. I've
Most
seen.
people.
I mean, I remember.
it
wasn't the Godzilla teaser leaked?
Yes.
Yeah, I
that
remember watching that, and I still have the same feeling as when I watched that leaked teaser.
I mean,
Every time
yeah,
I watch one of their trailers, I'm still excited.
I know. I'm still excited. To me, it's just dumb. It just doesn't. It's just from a
But to be
business
fair,
perspective, it's
I am a
stupid.
lot more scared of trailers now
Yeah.
because Mission Impossible Fallout had a really good trailer. I don't think that movie was as good as the trailer was.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I don't
that's a
think that.
problem with all those
Yeah.
Yeah,
movies nowadays. They're just
the
really
trailers
damn
are
good.
too good. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
ruin movies.
Sometimes I prefer the trailer to the actual film.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Sometimes just thinking about a story they could tell instead of the actual story they told.
Yeah.
Oh, what a world we live in.
That's why, like,
Using
that's
our
why, like,
imaginations, can you believe us? God.
dude, it's weird. It pisses me off sometimes. I'm like, why did I make such a better film in my head?
Why did I make such a better film in my head? That's good. I'm quoting that. That's good shit.
Well, it's true, man. That's my worry with the Joker. The Joker's got such a badass trailer that I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no.
I have seen a lot of worries about that, and people did. I watched some more videos in some other comments and shit, and there are some worries I do have about that film. Although, did you hear the weird one?
What?
Some people were complaining, and I'm not gonna make this political, but they were left. And they were complaining that, oh great, another white psychopath destroying a city.
What?
It's still criticism all the same, and it's just a weird one that I heard.
That shit pisses me off.
Well, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a difference. It's just whoever is gonna do a best job at portraying this character is who they're gonna go with, and it's probably Joaquin Phoenix.
Exactly.
Because it's
Yeah.
like that's just who he's gonna be able to embody that character. He's probably the only actor I think working right now that I would say that has the potential to pull that character off as probably as good as Heath Ledger's.
That we know. There might be someone out there, but I mean,
Definitely.
Or
of
the
the
big
of the
name-
mainstream AAA actors
Yeah.
that we do know, yeah. I agree with that. So I guess it's all of our business taken care of. Time to get on to
Well,
the...
quickly on the Mandalorian though.
Yeah.
My one worry about it is that it is Disney. that is my one worry.
So
I hope
could
it's-
you qualify? Like, I think I know what you mean, but just qualify that for me.
That it's going to be made to appease every single possible person.
Yeah,
Where I
right.
feel like the Mandalorian specifically would be the one Star Wars thing where I'm like, just go for that audience that wants a Boba Fett movie. Like, go for
Yeah.
that's a very specific set of people, and make it for them.
I wouldn't
not
even
gonna
say
do
it's a
that.
very specific set of
I don't.
people.
Well, no,
I'd
it's
just
not,
say
but
it's a different age group than they're
is.
usually than they're usually aiming for, right? Because I doubt there's many kids nowadays who are like, Boba Fett was fucking cool, or Jango Fett was fucking cool. Yeah, let's see some more shit on the Mandalorians. Because if you look at the Clone Wars, which is even the original 03 2D one, well, no, I guess there was no No, yeah, there was
he
nothing.
shows up.
Was it? I can't remember. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, he shows up.
But there was even Mandalorians in that, and that was everything George Lucas. Like, George Lucas, I think, wanted to talk about the crime side of Star Wars, but he never really found a way to do so, and so he always did,
No.
like, little things like with Clone Wars, he was like, hey, let's make episodes about the underworld of the Star Wars galaxy, about the Hutts and shit.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
and you
Cad
kind of get
Bane.
everywhere. Yeah, Cad Bane, yeah, stuff like that. Like, I feel like he wanted to, but it's just not possible with the characters he had.
No, yeah.
Skywalker's.
Yeah, because he already started doing it.
Yeah.
I'm-
yeah, and that's
I'm
what
into-
this is.
That's
for.
what I want them
That's
to
what
do.
this is. This is for those old maybe not even old fans, or people who enjoyed the little stories, like watching all 6 of those bounty hunters sit there and the Empire soldiers being like, they're fucking weird, or what. I don't even remember what they said.
Yeah. No disintegrations. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way they pitched it though. I think out of all the Star Wars shit, this is the most excited I've ever been for anything.
Yeah.
Because they pitched it like, oh, it's like a Clint Eastwood western in Star Wars.
That's what it looked like
I
to
just
the
want it to
trailer
be-
and stuff. It looked like a western, and I'm really excited about that. Don't get me. I love
Exactly.
westerns, but Star
Yeah.
Wars western? Oh shit.
What I just want, I mean, I know that this is kind of like, I don't know. I just do want it to be a little more grittier. Not necessarily grittier. It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be
people
gritty,
don't
but
have to be
it doesn't.
blowing off their
It can't
leg.
be It can't be Disney.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. It can't be all magical. Like it has
Yeah.
to be like this is the dirtiest, grossest version of Star Wars. Like in terms of like
Yeah.
you see all the pretty stuff on the surface. This is what the day to day is or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. This
That's
is
what I would like.
crime. Crime's never
Yeah.
pretty.
Exactly. That's what I would love to see. I'm
So I
hoping
mean,
that they do that.
what if they had the tone similar to like Rogue One?
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
I'm hoping.
Rogue One was a little. I think it was. I mean, it looks like they're going for the same cinematic style because Rogue One was like dark, except
Yeah.
for that last beach section, which was kind of bright, but you could also tell they were darkening it.
Yeah, they did.
That like it was definitely a darker, a grittier, meh.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
I
people
mean, that's
died.
what-
It was. I mean, everybody died. Spoilers. Everybody died.
Yeah.
Everybody dies. Everybody's
Spoilers
dead.
for that movie that made $2 billion or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has an opinion on Star Wars. Everyone's seen Star Wars, even Rogue One. I know. I mean,
Yeah.
Solo less so, but everybody saw Rogue One. Well, not
Yeah. Oh,
everybody,
yeah.
but a lot of people.
Well,
I was
a lot.
talking to my
I mean,
cousin who went to college for football, and he's seen all of them,
Yeah.
all of the Star Warses, and he's like, "Are you excited for Episode 9?" I'm like, "This is a weird conversation." It's everybody sees Star Wars, so you can talk. I
Yeah.
doubt many people are like, "What spoilers? Oh, I didn't
have
watch
met
that
some
movie
people
from
that have never
2017."
Star Wars. Yeah.
And they
There have
probably
been some
wouldn't be
people.
listening to our podcast anyways.
They wouldn't be listening to our podcast, and I don't talk to them after that.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough Star Wars. I'm sick of it. Disney's
Yeah.
influencing us too much.
It is, but we're
So
gonna
let's talk about
Disney.
Disney.
Yeah.
More Disney.
I mean, to be fair,
They own
there was
everything.
some parts that
God.
were pre-Disney.
It is impossible to
Paramount?
kind of talk about film without talking about Disney now. It's unfortunate.
It's sickening.
It
Yeah,
is.
they have such a monopoly on everything.
I think we should have a discussion just about that at some point. But
We already
maybe in the
kinda did.
future.
I mean, like a whole thing
Yeah.
dissecting, like,
All the plays, the moves they made,
Dude,
like
yeah.
financially from like
yeah,
the 2000s and
dude, it's
just
just
insane.
the shady shit they did back.
They're so scary, man. They're gonna unfreeze that fucking guy's head, and the world's gonna end.
Yeah.
Our new Disney overlords.
You just hear
Yeah.
like, "Woohoo! Woohoo, we're taking over!
Yeah,
we're taking
dude.
over the." Oh
T-
man,
The TV screens will go do the doo, the monotone thing, and then it's just like, and then it's just the outline of his head, the ears and whatnot, and then it's just on there.
it's
and then it
just
cuts
Mickey
real quick.
Mouse screaming like,
Yeah. And then it
You
cuts
guys
to
giving this
it cuts to
people
the president of
nightmares.
the United States tied to a chair, and there's the mouse
just beating the shit out
just
of him.
beating him up. Yeah,
I'm the
And
new
that's-
king. Oh,
yeah, that's it. And then he presses a button, and it's actually launching nukes.
I want to see that. That would be a
That's our
reverse
next-
Disney.
That's our
project.
next. That's our next. That's our next film.
Yeah.
No, it's not. All right. So we promised last week we were going to talk about the MCU before End War comes out, and we
Mhm.
might be getting a little, marveled up for this baby, but that's because it's Marvel. It's Endgame.
Yeah.
Who's not
It's
ready?
the end game.
Everybody has a finger up their butt already. They're ready.
They've made so much money in the pre-sales already.
Oh, I bet you it's almost outsold any
I
singular.
think it has.
Just in
probably has.
pre-sales, probably.
Yeah.
I was the same cousin who was talking about with Star Wars was like, yeah, I got my tickets for Endgame, but I had to get them like a month ago, and I'm like, God damn,
That's what I did too.
that's
Yeah.
craziness. They're just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, also all the theaters in Colorado, at least near us, you have to pre-buy your seats,
Yeah, I hate that.
whatever, and it even doesn't even work sometimes.
No. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
that one time.
It's just, ugh. Anyways, yeah. So MCU talk, I guess. Hunter's been rewatching them all. I have
I've
them
been
all
rewatching
memorized.
of them.
Stefan hates them all. Actually, I have no idea. He might like some of them. Do you like any of them?
Stefan tolerates them. He
I
doesn't
have
them.
I have like 4 that I thoroughly enjoy, and then the rest I don't really like that much at all.
Okay. All right. Well, let's roll it back. Let's do it in
Yeah.
release order, I guess.
Release order
all the way
okay.
back to was it 07?
What-
Iron
06?
Man 1.
No.
What if we start?
Incredible Hulk.
Wait. No, because Iron Man came out before Incredible Hulk.
God damn it.
It did.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, it didn't.
It did because there's the end credit scene where Tony Stark shows up.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
They came out the same year. I think it was literally like 4 months apart or whatever.
Oh,
4.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that explains it. That's why I keep saying 08 to myself over and over again. I'm like, no, that's Iron Man.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess Iron Man was first?
Iron Man was the
I fucking
first
love
thing
Iron
to
Man.
kick it off.
Yeah,
It is
that's one of my favorites.
Good.
It's just, like, and the best part is you can just watch it by itself and you don't have to watch any of the other MCU movies to get
No.
it. You can just
Oh,
put
yeah.
it on. It's great.
Yeah. Because they didn't know that these were
Yeah.
gonna be all home runs.
They
every
didn't know
single time.
MCU was a thing yet, so it was
No,
just a nice
so they were
little
like,
movie.
We're just gonna make this, and it's a concise movie. They have an end credit scene where Nick Fury shows up, but it's nothing like, it's just like, hey, we could do another film if we want to, but
Well,
we're not.
Like, I think what he
leaving.
says is, like, I'm making a group, and then the next movie, he
Yeah.
has no idea who he is.
No, he does.
Oh, yeah,
he
he
comes
does know
back.
him.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Well, I mean, they
but-
introduce there's the beginnings of the MCU, but it's like the sperm just met the egg kind of thing.
Pretty
It's
much.
a
You
single
didn't know
celled
if it was gonna-
organism right now.
Yeah. It wasn't. Yeah,
it wasn't big yet. But
it still needed a cook. You know.
they didn't even say
It-
Shield.
they
They
wasn't
were still
even
using the full name.
Yeah. Yeah. What's his name? Agent Coulson
Yeah, Agent
or whatever.
Coulson
And
from
he talked.
Agents
Every single time
Shield.
he shows up, he's like, it's a strategic homeland.
Tactical and
No, not tactical. I
No,
think
yeah,
it's
tactical
strategic
and
homeland
defense.
No, that's not it. That's not how you spell shield. It's like strategic
oh
homeland.
yeah, there's not a
intervention.
T in Shield. What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's strategic homeland intervention. What's E? I know that L is logistics division. L and D is logistics division, but I don't remember what E is.
Espionage? No, I don't know.
I
Who knows?
don't know.
Enema?
It's-
Enema.
I think it's enforcement. Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement Logistics. Yep. Strategic Homeland Intervention Logistics. No. Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement Logistics Division.
Jesus Christ!
Welcome to
That's
the
it.
MCU spelling bee.
Yeah.
10 points to Gryffindor.
Holy
Ah.
shit!
That's
God.
pretty impressive.
Because they say that in Iron Man. Iron Man 1. They also do that in Captain Marvel, but
Less
that's
so.
not. We're going in release order.
Yeah. Well, all right.
But
All right. So Iron Man, good film. If you haven't seen it, you should probably go watch it. And if
Yeah.
you're sitting here and listening to us talk about the MCU, just go watch the MCU.
What are you doing?
Yeah. What are
Yeah.
you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I mean, you can't listen to us. I mean,
I guess you could listen to us.
they're
but
not. For the most part,
None of them are need to see. I will say that.
Yeah.
None of them are need to see. They're like
Yeah.
if you're like, oh, I kind of like the Dark Knight and those Batman films. If you've seen them, and you're like, oh, I kind of like those Sam Raimi films. You might like these.
I'm
not gonna guarantee you-
Iron Man's a need to see.
yeah,
In
you
my
still
opinion.
should see it.
Iron
It
Man's
is
good. Iron Man has
It is
a good.
so good.
It's better than it should be.
It
is
is.
what I'll
Well,
say,
'cause
like-
because
There's so much like depth to that movie.
well, yeah,
And a
And
lot of the
Robert
MCU
Downey
is
Jr.
built off of that depth. And
Yeah,
Robert
Downey Jr. is excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine like there's nobody else. He is Iron Man. Like
He's
when I like
I am Iron Man.
he is Iron Man. There's no other like he is just the perfect person to portray Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And he does an excellent job at showing through that film just having a nice character arc, and then seeing how that progresses. It's really impressive actually how much his character has changed from Iron Man 1 to think of him starting out in a cave to them being on another planet fighting Thanos is like, what the hell is like? It's really they did an excellent job, and
it's just fun.
It
Plus
is
the fact that you see Iron Man just like fucking wrecking all these terrorists in that village.
Oh my god!
Like you never see any of the other movies.
No, they don't really
that
do
deal
that.
with like the heroes attacking or like killing villains.
None of them.
Or humans,
none of them.
Even.
I guess I guess he does kill him because he definitely shoots rockets in a couple of their faces.
But it's
He
like
blows up a tank.
But he's a badass in that movie. Like
He is.
him compared to like any other MCU character. I mean, Black Panther is somewhat the same, but the movie was not as well written.
No.
Mhm.
But I will say he's like just a he's not like a black Iron Man, but he has some of the same things like where he's kind of ruthless, you know. Iron Man's pretty ruthless to the terrorists and shit. I mean, other than in Iron Man 3, but we'll get to that. So the next movie, Iron Man, probably need to watch. You can just watch that movie, be like, oh, I guess that was all right, and then leave.
Yeah.
And then was it Captain America next?
No.
No.
Now it's Hulk.
God.
Now it's the Incredible Hulk.
All right, the movie's
which you
garbage. Don't
need
watch
to
it.
see.
It shouldn't even be a part of the MCU. Let's be honest.
It technically is and isn't
It's
because
garbage. Don't watch it.
the only thing that they took from it is the fact that Hulk was in Harlem fighting another Hulk monster, and that's it. Like really, that's about it. They do have like Thunderbolt Ross shows up later in Civil War, but it's not the same. It's not the same character at all. It doesn't. It's really not the same. The thing about Hulk, which is something that you realize, is that he's kind of a terrible action hero movie to make, because he's the one superhero that is afraid of his own powers and just who's constantly trying to find a way to get rid of his powers. He doesn't ever really embrace it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
I thought Edward Norton was good though.
Edward Norton's great. It's just that it's like it's a hard character to portray because it's tragic. But then you want a movie where it's like
you want to be cool.
I want to see
you want to be cool, but you want to be tragic.
Yeah, you want to see
it's hard
the
to
Hulk.
be both.
Yeah, it's hard to do that. I mean, it would be interesting to see the Hulk done differently, but it would have to be separate. It would have to be a little.
They'll never do that.
No, they're never going to do that. I would like to see that, though.
The
like
Hulk is a supporting character, let's be honest.
That's where he fits better, which is why this
even when
garbage.
he's a scientist, he's a supporting character. But when he's Hulk, he's Hulk smash. That's it.
Yeah,
Hulk smash.
that's it.
And that's not... You can't make a whole movie about Hulk smash. Trust me, they tried.
Yeah.
They tried 2 Hulk smashing, and it still didn't work.
Yeah.
So, now Captain America?
No. If we're going in release order...
Yes.
It would then be Iron Man 2.
Oh, yes. Iron Man 2. The best Iron Man film.
Iron Man 2 actually works.
I think you just like Iron Man, Stefan, because you're like...
I do.
I like Iron Man. I love Iron Man. I love
Robert
Iron Man
Downey
2.
Jr. is great.
Iron Man
He's
3
my
is pretty
boy.
good.
He's the only one of the Avengers. If they killed an Endgame, that I would be like devastated. Everyone else would be fine with.
It would be, because he's probably, in my opinion, he's probably the best. He's the best written character and portrayed character
Definitely.
that they have.
Most charismatic.
Yeah.
Most likable.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that one. It's got many flaws.
It does.
It works it works in hindsight. That's why I really liked watching Phase 1 in hindsight, mostly just watching the Iron Man movies, because again, just seeing his character, seeing that change. But Iron Man 2 does work better knowing that it's followed by Avengers and whatnot.
Yeah, Avengers and Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 2, it's good. It's still worth watching it if you're
If
gonna
you
watch
liked
all
Iron
of it.
Man 1.
If you liked Iron Man 1, you're definitely gonna like Iron Man 2.
Yeah, it's not
Maybe
as
not
good,
to the
obviously.
same extent. Yeah, I don't think it's as good because
Oh yeah, it's not as good, but
it
you'll probably
lags.
still like it.
Yeah, it lags there in the middle, and the main, I guess, conflict of the film is pretty much like, it's just like, it's a little difficult to understand as well.
You're a big
'Cause
meanie
they don't
and you
really
stole my stuff.
Yeah, literally that's it. It's like, okay. The only thing that it served to do was really just to, because then they were like, you know what, people liked Iron Man 1, I think we're gonna move ahead with this and try and establish a larger universe.
Kevin
so that's when you
like,
see
he's like, bitches, check
Yeah.
this shit out. Hold my
He's got
beer.
Yeah. He
He's got
throws
the
down
strings.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. He
The red
bursts-
strings and pictures of everybody.
So if we have this and we have the Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah, he kicks in the door of
And in-
Disney
and in the
runs
middle-
in there with his board and then throws down a 2-foot tall stack of scripts and shit and just like, we're doing this. Okay, it's gonna be $7 billion or $70 billion, but we're gonna make so much money.
I like the
Yeah.
fact that like I think he already had everybody casted, but they didn't get the CGI done yet. So it's like Chris Evans with like this fake ass like Captain America hat on, and it's Thanos, and it's just like
Josh
crayon drawn in.
they're running around with like green pajamas on.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh god, Iron Man.
Props
I
to
wanna-
him.
Yeah. All right.
How the fuck
Alright,
does
alright,
he?
Are
next
we done with 2?
next
But yeah,
movie.
oh no. But real
God.
quick, just one thing about Iron
Go.
Man 2, Black Widow though, dude.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's
That's the
she's
introduction of Black
fantastic in
Widow.
that.
Best-
She
Black
actually
Widow.
is the best. Like, she's the best female character we'll get into that later.
I wouldn't say best
Better
female
than-
character.
Better than Captain Marvel, at least.
Well, yeah, better than Captain Marvel,
True.
but we do have Scarlet Witch.
Oh yeah, Scarlet Witch is great. Yeah, that's right.
Like,
I forgot.
you know, what's her name? Natasha Romanoff is pretty one-off, but
She is.
Scarlet Witch, especially in Age of Ultron, is very I don't want to say nuanced, but nuanced.
yeah,
guess.
no, that's no, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
It is.
she has a better reason to be in the Avengers than anyone else. Well, not anyone else, but than any other female character.
Yeah, you're right.
All right.
And
You
I also
right.
like that actor. I like Elizabeth Olsen. She does a good job. Anyways, next movie, Captain America, my favorite
It's
one.
not Captain
No!
America.
What is
Technically,
Captain
Thor-
America?
Thor released, I think it was like
Oh, you're right,
6 months
Thor.
ahead of Captain
It was
America.
Thor.
Because Thor, I think,
do
came
like
out. It
Thor
was like
1
in
too, though.
November, and then first Cap came out, and I think that was the summer one. That was their summer film.
Fucking hate this.
Yeah, so
Let me
Thor.
talk about Captain America.
So after the success, I love the Captain America ones. All the Captain America films are my favorite. Trust me.
They're great.
So after Iron Man 2, that's when they were like, okay, we're good. And there's also hints to Thor happening in Iron Man 2. They
Is
talk
there?
about shit. Yeah, because Nick Fury's in the diner and he goes, I got bigger problems in the Southwest region right now. That's literally the line, because I watched that movie or whatever.
It's fucking hilarious. I like how
But
I like how it totally passed over my head when I rewatched him, even knowing the MCU was there.
yeah,
But like in hindsight, you're like, yeah, that's a very specific thing to say.
yeah. So he says that, and then there's another thing where Agent Coulson's talking to Tony Stark, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to New Mexico. I got something going on. And then it's like, and then he shows up. Then the end credit scene of Iron Man 2 is him showing up, and there's Thor's hammer. Woo! And then Thor.
That's cool. And Thor is
My
Thor
review
one.
is meh.
yeah,
It is-
It's a meh movie.
It is meh, and it's.
I still like it. Don't get me wrong.
No, I like it. It's very Shakespearean, and well, because it was directed by Kenneth Branagh, which makes sense.
If you don't
um,
know, Kenneth Branagh does a lot of Shakespeare movies.
He does them all. He
does
there's
them
a new
all.
film. There's a new film coming out where it's about Shakespeare, and he's playing as Shakespeare. So, the guy, he really likes Shakespeare. So
5 words
Um,
or what is it? Five phrases. They all rhyme. I forget what made him popular or whatever. But it's very meh.
There's some cool
yeah, there's
the
cool
fights.
stuff. The
There's some
fights
cool
are good,
fights.
but they're like some of the side characters are at
Kat
best
Dennings.
half a note.
Yeah.
Kat
Who-
Dennings is the most annoying character in the
Who is?
MCU.
Oh, dude, you might want to be careful saying that on the internet. Dude.
Who is? Wait, who is?
Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings.
Natalie
the-
Portman's chick side character.
Oh, yeah, she is. She's the worst.
She's pretty
Yeah.
annoying. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't
She's
mind
just the
annoying.
worst. I mean, she's okay when she shows up, but it's just like every single one of her jokes to me was just like, okay,
It missed.
I see. Yeah, every single one missed for me.
Yeah.
Thor's all. The Thor movie's
It's
alright.
meh. It's cool. I mean,
Although-
Chris Hemsworth is a great Thor.
He's
Tom
the
Hin-
perfect Thor.
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom
Hiddleston.
Hiddleston, yeah, is a good Loki. He's a great. Actually, he's a great Loki.
amazing. He's the best.
I only
Loki.
wish, like, just because God of War 4 came out and you had to kind of read more into the Norse mythology to get what the fuck they were talking about, but
Yeah.
I kind of wish he was a little bit more trickstery. He's not really a
he doesn't-
trickster.
Yeah.
Like, he
doesn't
does
do much-
something. The most trickster thing we ever see him do is in Thor Ragnarok when he pretends to be Odin. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's not even a trick. He's just fucking with people.
Yeah.
I guess it's a trick, but it's not like he literally tricks people into he tricks Odin and not Odin. He tricks Odin's horse into fucking him as a horse. Like, that's a fucking
Yeah.
trick.
That's a trick.
And tricks are for kids. Oh god. Oh god.
Silly rabbit.
Silly horse.
Coming with the jokes.
So yeah, it's just I wish he was a little more trickstery, but other than that, it's very
It's okay.
mediocre.
Doesn't do much to add to the it. Well, it actually does, because it's like then it's introducing this idea of this cosmic. It's the introduction to the cosmic
Well, it's not even cosmic.
side. Well, yeah, it's not even. It's just like Asgard and
I don't really understand. You don't really understand
no
that
you
it's
don't get
in
any.
space. Like I was
No.
like I thought they were in I thought it was like a parallel dimension or something.
Yeah,
But
that's
then
how
it gets
they say
attacked
realms
from
dude,
space.
That's the weirdest part about. So like, I'll talk about that later.
All right, after Thor 1, do we get to my favorite movie?
Now we get into the one of. It's probably my top one, just because it's awesome. Captain America, the first Avenger.
I love that movie.
It's so awesome.
It's just cool.
It is. It's just it's the perfect
I love punching
comic
Nazis.
book. Yeah, it's the perfect comic book adaptation.
Yeah,
because it's just like
it's literally
it's
like they read the comics from the 40s and they're like,
the
we can
first-
make a movie about this.
that's literally all it is. It's just because it's just the good guy versus the bad guy. You have some cool little fights. You have Steve Rogers breaking people's spines just by kicking them into boxes and shit. I love that's my favorite. And all the because he does that in like every single Captain America movie where he'll just Spartan kick some dude into a wall and it's like he's never walking again. He's not.
But
He's not
I love
getting
how
back
like
up.
when he falls, the wall's always cracked, and you're like, dude,
Yeah,
there should
Yeah.
be blood somewhere.
yeah, that's right.
People don't get
Well, that
baked
one-
into cement walls and not bleed.
Yeah.
That movie has the most bloody scene though, where the guy gets flown off the jet.
Oh yeah, and he goes into the
Oh,
propeller,
yeah, he goes into
and it's just a
propellers.
red mist of.
I don't know.
love it.
To be fair though, the one in Indiana Jones, the first one, was way gorier than that one. That one was kind of like
Yeah.
comedic.
It is.
Well,
I mean,
For
it's done to
MCU?
comedic effect. Yeah, for
Yeah.
the MCU, it's very
There's-
gory.
that's
Yeah.
like their most gory shit.
That
but,
is.
I mean, obviously there's way worse, but like
what is up with the MCU and like having like gag humor when people die?
I don't know.
Is it just me? Like Thor Ragnarok has a couple scenes, especially when it comes to when Hulk falls. Oh God, excuse me.
well, we're
Well, he
we're
just
getting ahead of
died.
ourselves.
I know,
Yeah, we're
but
getting ahead now.
it's to that same effect. Like he I don't even know if he
Oh.
punches him off. He just like pushes him off, and he goes in. It's like, "Brr," and it just cuts to the next scene, and it's just goofy.
Wait
and-
for what?
In Captain America, right? He doesn't
Oh.
even like. He kind of like shoves him off. He doesn't even
Yeah.
like punch him or kick him. I think he like
No, yeah, he just
shoves
pushes
him a little. He trips and he next scene.
yeah, it's great.
It's kind of goofy.
Um, No, yeah, it's awesome. It's just they have a
Yeah,
cool
it's
little
just good.
fight where like it would have been so much better if every single punch did the pow, with the thing. I would have loved
Debatable.
that, but
I will say this is the best montages out of all of MCU, I think, for a
yeah,
movie.
it does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all right, fair enough.
It,
That
like,
was a good
It's
several
cool.
montage.
great
Yeah.
montages.
Chris Evans is
He's,
also
he
the perfect
is
casting
Captain
for
America.
Captain America. Yeah. Although
Yeah.
I
The
don't.
casting
The
is
thing
so
is,
good in these movies.
The Captain America character is just not as he's just not as complex as
No.
something as
He's
like, there
literally
is a little-
just like, I stand up for goodness and I am
Pretty
against
much.
evil.
like.
Okay.
There's room for them to do that, and they kind of like there is some nuance to that, especially
Civil
like
War
in the
touched
later
on
ones.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's well, like also in
In
they don't touch it too much in Avengers, but in Winter Soldier, because
yeah,
it's like
Winter Soldier.
it's kind of tragic because he's this guy that's like out of time.
He is literally
know?
America incarnate, and he has to go against America.
Yeah, and so there's that. They actually do a pretty good job. It's probably the most complex version that they could have done of Captain America,
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
done.
They
it's
could have
done
made
perfect.
him literally, I punch bad guys and that's all I
Yeah.
did. But they did make
Yeah.
him a little bit more
Yeah.
nuanced in depth.
Yeah.
I guess.
And it works. It's a perfect. It works great in all the films, I think.
Right.
And then we finally have the big boy first
this
Avengers film, which I
the
think
first
is
Avengers. Oh,
they've gone
shit.
back and like renamed it Avengers Assemble, which is stupid.
Yeah.
Rather than the Avengers, they call it Avengers Assemble. I
didn't know they renamed it. Huh?
I don't. It's not. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't
Whatever.
buy a
Anyways, the first
new
Avengers is
copy
great.
of it.
If
It's
you
great.
if you've seen Iron Man and Captain America, maybe Thor, you're ready to see this.
Yeah.
I guess you don't even have to see Iron Man 2. I never saw Iron Man 2 until I saw right before I saw Age of Ultron. So you don't really need to see what.
Well,
I ruined that for you?
No.
I mean
no,
the first time viewing it. I hadn't seen Iron Man 3 until after not after Infinity War. No, yeah, after Infinity War.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Which, funnily enough, it makes that movie. All of a sudden, like watching Iron Man 3, all of a sudden, like what's his name?
Tony Stark?
Tony
Downey
Stark's
Jr.
character just becomes like, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
he's having the nightmares and stuff.
Yeah, he's got
So
PTSD.
that's why he's so scared of everything.
Yeah,
But yeah, Avengers, the first one, great, fantastic.
it is.
Although
It's
the
Not very
characters become a
rewatchable,
little.
though.
It isn't super rewatchable, I will admit.
Like I've seen it like twice, and the second time it was way less enjoyable for me. But I still think the first time seeing it in the theater was
Oh yeah.
You guys saw it in
was-
theater?
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I saw it. Yeah,
Did I see it in theater?
I don't know if you
can't
did.
remember.
When did it come
I
out?
don't think I
2012.
did.
Maybe I'll
But no,
bleep it out.
Avengers is great because the first time you see it, it's like, oh my god, it's all those heroes. They're all together.
It's just.
It's also it's also where they introduce Hawkeye technically shows up in Thor,
yeah, he does show up in Thor 1, but
and
it's
he
like,
doesn't do anything.
once again, just a side beat character, and they're like, all right,
No,
Jeremy Renner, we need you to come in, shoot 2 scenes, and you'll be in the next movie. All right,
that's
we swear to
literally
God.
it. It's hilarious because it's like what happens is, and I remember this. Thor is running through the little thing to find because they set up a whole like space alien camp around his hammer, and he's like beating people up, running through there, and then they go, "We need an eye in the sky," and then the shot is literally it shows like hands reaching for a sniper rifle. He picks up the sniper rifle, puts it down, and then goes to the right and picks up a bow, and then it's like. And then he runs over, gets in a crane, gets in there, and he's all like, "Tell me when." And then he notches up, and then that's it. He doesn't even do anything. He then like sees Thor get beat up by a
Now,
couple of
here's a
goons,
question.
and then he's like,
Then
"Okay."
he has
Does
a
it
cigarette.
play the dun 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 dun,
Dun, dun.
right when he picks up the
Dun,
bow? Because that's
No.
exactly what the later movies do.
No, it didn't. But it is funny because I was like, I completely forgot when I was rewatching it. Because I've just been in the past 2 or 3 weeks, I've been rewatching all of them. When I was rewatching, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot." Hawkeye's in
film,
this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, Avengers, the first one. It's kind of a. If you've seen, if you're liking where you're going, it's a need to see.
Yeah.
If you're going through
Yeah.
the MCU.
yeah.
But I mean,
It's a cool
everybody can
experience.
basically
It's
agree
awesome.
it's just great to watch.
It
was a
is
great
Yeah.
watch.
especially for the first time when you get to see.
It's not
Tony
very well
Stark
written. It's just
and-
pretty and fun.
Yeah,
it's
great.
a fun movie.
It's
It's-
got an
yeah, it's fun.
awesome.
It's not one of my
what is it?
favorites, but it's definitely really fun. Like,
Oh yeah,
I
it's got
implore
that
anyone to see it.
awesome spinning shot, or
Oh,
what-
Yeah,
not spinning.
yeah. When they're in the
Yeah.
New York,
When they're
it's
in
a
the,
dolly.
they're all in the circle. They're all
No, not a
getting.
dolly. What do you
Yeah,
call that,
I don't-
Stefan?
Is it called a
I think it was just like a
panoramic?
steady rig.
Yeah.
Anyways,
think
they
so.
do this nice like when like all the Avengers are assembled and they're all standing in a circle and they do like
Yeah.
a camera shot and it's the coolest. shit
Sweeps
ever.
all around them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so, and I think it plays the tone.
It does.
Too.
It plays the music.
Dun,
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 dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it does that. But no, it's excellent.
You know
it's
what's
so
funny?
cool
I
when
just
that
realized.
happens.
No, I've actually re-seen that movie more times than any other
Same.
MCU film. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, Stefan. I find that film very rewatchable.
Well, I don't think it's rewarding for multiple watches. I think you could just watch it and be like, oh, there's that.
Oh no, I
cool
just like to
fight
have
scene.
fun rewatching movies, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? Rewarding, yeah, dude. You just get to see fucking Thor and Hulk and shit fuck up
Yeah.
aliens and shit. It's
They
great.
get I love that. It's great because they have that little spurt in the forest where it's like
Yeah.
the first time that Iron Man encounters Thor and they're like doing this little thing where they're beating each other up.
Yeah,
And then
nobody's
Captain
friends when they
America
meet.
shows up. Yeah.
And then when they have a common enemy, they're all friends. It's great.
Yeah.
It's
I
good.
think this is a little side note, but I think this is the last movie where they stopped using like AC/DC for like whenever like Iron Man
Oh.
showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they would bring that back
Yeah.
when he comes flying in like
Well-
blasting like AC/DC or like great rock music.
Well, because the
Like,
events that
that was
happen in
weird.
Avengers is probably it's the stuff that happens in it is the most important for Tony Stark as a character because that's when he takes the nuke or whatever and then he like sees he gets this like, oh shit, we're on this tiny little rock and there's bigger, badder things out there that can kill us all. And so I think it completely changes. That's where his character
It does.
completely
Yeah, it
changes.
changes his character.
After every single one,
Sorry about that.
he's
guys.
different. But it's really well done. And then Captain America, he doesn't change too much. He's basically like, oh, I'm fighting aliens now instead of Nazis.
He's like, Nazis, aliens, what's the difference? And then throws his
Pretty
shield and
much.
takes out 8.
Yeah, he takes on Loki head on. I did like the way that like Loki's not just running away from them the entire time, like like he gets captured pretty early on in the film, and then he has
I guess he also tricks them there too.
yeah. Well, his whole job is he tears them apart from the inside, pretty much there.
Tearing me apart, Lisa.
Ah!
You're tearing me apart, Loki.
Pretty much. Yeah,
I
and
know.
Loki's awesome there.
Yeah, I love Loki. He's good.
He's excellent.
All right,
Um,
next movie.
And then that ends phase 1, and phase 2 kicks off with Stefan's favorite movie.
Yeah, it's my favorite MCU one. Iron Man 3?
It is Iron Man 3.
Is
Came
it?
out
Does
in
it really
2013.
start? Phase 2 starts with Iron Man 3.
Phase 2, yeah, so you
Huh.
literally finish Avengers. Like,
You
this
know-
is what I did. I finished it and went straight to Iron Man 3.
All of
and
a sudden, the MCU is making more and more sense.
yeah, well, 'cause
Weird when
it
you
ma-
watch movies in order; they make more sense.
It does. It really does. It is. It directly follows. Again, it's the first film right after Avengers, so everybody gets
It is-
separated again.
It is a weird movie just because it feels so
Yeah.
un-MCU.
It's
what
that's
I'm
why
saying.
I love it.
It's the most un-MCU movie,
Mm-hmm.
It's
and it's
a
not
Shane Black
better or
movie.
worse for it. It's just un-MCU. So if you watch it
Yeah.
specifically, like, man, I love the MCU
I
and where
loved
they're going right
Avengers.
now, and you watch
Yeah.
this one, you'll be like, well, that was weird.
Yeah.
That's
'Cause
probably
totally
because it
it's
was
completely
directed by
different.
Shane Black, and he had his own ideas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Which,
why I loved it.
You know, I support that, but still, there was a narrative going on. I mean, he
I
did.
don't think
he
he
helped. the
didn't
narrative.
mess with it.
Yeah, he didn't
didn't
mess with it.
no.
It was
It's just different. It feels really
yeah,
weird.
it feels different.
It's
Yeah.
just like it's kind of like watching the Incredible Hulk because it's like this just is
Yeah.
odd that it's here. Although
So-
unlike the Incredible Hulk, the story actually works.
Yeah.
So, Stefan, why is it your favorite?
I'm not a huge fan, obviously, but I think this is the one where I like it more as like a Shane Black movie than like an Iron Man film. And I like the comedy. I think the comedy really works for me, and I like the Mandarin reveal. I think from beginning to end, I was like, rock on. I love this movie.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
what
cool.
it is about it, but I
Yeah.
dig it. It's
I love
probably
it.
my favorite one.
I'm mixed. I'm very mixed on that movie.
I like what they did with, because the one thing I like is that they're evolving the Tony Stark's character. Although it does come to kind of a conclusion because this is his last standalone one. It does serve as a wrap up of his story arc from those other films, from his standalone films.
Yeah, from the standalone films. Which
so
at the end
although
of it, he basically deconstructs all of his suits.
yeah, blows them all up.
And next time we see him, he's in a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
he's
the
got a
only
dark
thing that
reactor.
makes it weird.
Oh, and he has a new voice. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he gets he gets it out of his chest or whatever.
But you could legitimately watch those 3 Iron Man movies and just stop there.
Oh yeah,
and be
yeah.
like,
You could
that
watch
was
all
your
3 of them
trilogy.
and be like, yeah, they're pretty standalone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
yeah,
also
it
why
works
I like
well.
those
The
Iron Man
villain's
movies.
fantastic.
So what's the next movie in the Phase 2? Is it?
Then goes
GG?
Thor: The Dark World.
Oh God.
Meh.
There's
It's-
never been a more disappointing film. No, I'm just kidding. There's been more disappointing films, especially by Disney. Haha.
Yeah.
But it's just it's like somebody watched Avengers and they're like, we could do that with our Thor movie, and then they just remade Thor 1
They did.
while just like fantastically not doing it good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do
They
like.
had
I will say this. I do like how there's a lot more stuff going on in Asgard, in
Yeah.
Thor 2 in Dark World.
Yeah. This one's less of shit going on
also-
on Earth.
Also, I guess we should mention the first Infinity Stone is cited in Captain America 1, which leads
Yes.
into Avengers, and then this is the second Infinity Stone that we
shows
know of.
up,
Yeah,
yes.
that shows up. Which
Yeah,
the first one
which
is
is
the
the
blue
reality stone.
Tesseract, which I don't remember what it does.
That's a space stone.
Okay, great. And then this one's the red one, which apparently makes
It's a
you
reality
cool. Well, no, specifically in Thor: Dark World.
Oh, in
it
Ragnarok,
turns Natalie Portman into like a weird person,
yeah,
into a bomb. It turns her into a
basically-
bomb.
Yeah, all it does is like give you. I don't even know.
It's dumb.
That's
but
the problem with it. Yeah,
it doesn't
it's
make
okay.
much sense in Thor: Dark World. It makes sense in the grand scheme of things. It just makes
Yeah.
no sense in Dark World.
This one tries to do a little bit more of like showing that this is the more cosmic side of it, because the Collector shows up at the end. He gets the Reality Stone, and that's really about it. And the only big thing that happens is that Loki takes control of Asgard at the end of it.
Well, he pretends that he's dead.
He pretends to be Odin. Yeah, he pretends to
He-
die.
He pretends to die, and Thor's like, "Brrr!" and goes and
Yeah.
kills all the dark elves and all the women and children too. And
Then he impersonates Odin.
and then
Not
Loki
Thor,
impersonates Odin.
yeah.
Yeah, it's odd.
yeah,
But yeah,
it's okay.
It's
It's skippable.
super mediocre.
Honestly, it's skippable. It's
Yeah.
really skippable.
Yeah, all
don't
you need to know is that's where one of the Infinity Stones is.
That's
it's-
and even
it's there.
then, it doesn't even matter because it's like
yeah, that too.
it doesn't even matter that it shows up.
Because he gets it
Um,
without any fight.
Yeah,
So yeah, and then we go on. What's the next movie? Is it?
that was the next one that came out was Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which I would say is probably my second favorite out of all of them.
It's a good one. Although I've heard it more not as like a superhero film, but like a spy
Espionage.
film. Yeah, an
Yeah.
espionage spy film. And I guess this is the first one that the Russos did, right?
It is, which is why it's really well done.
It's just a really well done film, and you may not like superhero films, but if you like spy films, specifically
well
more
done.
of the Mission Impossible than the James Bond, Mission Impossible the first trilogy, not the second, you'll
Yeah.
like this one.
Winter
Yeah,
Soldier's
it's-
badass in it.
oh my
yeah,
god, yeah.
Winter Soldier's bad.
Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes or the Winter Soldier
Yeah,
is so cool. His character design is so
he
badass.
he just looks menacing.
And
Yeah,
they got they got that cool like sound effect they in.
Dude, every single time he shows up, oh
Oh man,
It's a good
I
movie.
watched this one. I watched this one 4 nights ago, and I still have it burned into my head because I love it so much. It's really well done.
Still jerk off to it every night.
Yeah,
Ugh.
dude, it's so well done because it's just the plot of it is really good. It's like because it's this idea that Shield the entire time throughout all of the other
Shield's
Marvel
lifetime,
films.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shield has been
been-
this these good guys,
Yeah.
but now
They've been inserted or not inserted.
the Hydra.
yeah, the Nazis
infiltrated them.
infiltrated them back in World War
In-
II. And
when
just
they
been
first
in control
started, yeah.
since then. And I'm like,
And it's so well done. Yeah, the themes are excellent. It does a good thing with Steve Rogers where kind of he has that moment of like, well, what am I fighting for? I've been fighting for.
well,
Shield,
as
but
I said
that's been
earlier,
Hydra.
like he's America. He is the embodiment of America, and he is fighting America. It's just
Yeah.
kind of it's neat. I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
It's
so
just
cool.
really good. Yeah, I like it. There's nothing. I'm
there's
trying to
nothing
think
wrong
of
with it.
something bad to say about it. Like if
There's
there's
not.
any.
Dude, the fight choreography is so.
Oh, it's so good. God damn it.
The fight where they have on the highway.
Yeah,
Oh,
that one's
dude,
good,
it's
too.
so good.
I
And
like,
then the
there's a lot
elevator
of
fight.
I do like that film for specifically one thing is that there's in a lot of movies there's not a lot of verticality to a lot of fights. Have you guys
Yeah.
ever noticed that?
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So like in Phantom Menace when they're jumping up and down, I was like, wow, that's really crazy. And this one when they're shooting over the bridge and they jump down and shit, it gets it just
You have
it
that
opens
other
up
layer.
your it has another layer. It's just cooler. It's just cooler.
Yeah, it is. It's really well done.
I mean, I can't speak for other people, but I think it's cooler. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Who cares what other people think?
Yeah, it's just I would almost if you've watched the first Avengers and you want to skip around, definitely watch this one.
Definitely. Well, because Shield gets destroyed at the end, so
Well,
it's
yeah, that's
it's
good.
actually the one that has one of the biggest ramifications going into
For the world, yeah.
Yeah. This one was followed by Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
which came out because I remember Captain America: Winter Soldier I think came out in May of 2014, and then Guardians of the Galaxy I think
Fucking
came out in
nerd.
November of 2014.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember this
I
stuff.
really like Guardians.
It's great. The first one's fantastic.
Like you may notice this about me, but a lot of my favorite movies are very heavily influenced by music, and so is
Yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah,
I love
Yeah.
the soundtrack. I love
Oh.
all of the actors,
they're
except
all good.
I don't like the character of Ronan. He's a bit bland.
He is. He's just like I'm gonna
He's
genocide people
yeah,
for
he's
genocide's
just-
sake.
yeah,
He's
and
he's just a dumb version of like I don't even know.
Hitler.
Pretty much, yeah. That's all
He's
he
just
is.
a
Yeah.
dumb purple Hitler.
Yeah.
He's
Stefan, what are your
pretty good.
thoughts on Guardians? Do you like the Guardians? The first one?
I'm not a big space opera fan.
Okay.
I don't
I
really
guess.
care for this one.
No? Wow. I loved it. I watched this just 2
I
nights
mean,
ago.
what was your biggest complaint? Even if you're not a big space opera, what would be like? I didn't like this movie because.
I think it might be the comedy where I
could
think
see that,
there's
yeah.
some times where it's just like a little bit too much.
Yeah.
and it
Definitely.
distracts from it, and I thought the climax was kind of boring and stereotypical. I think the dance scene was kind of funny, but I don't know. I've never really got
I can
that
see
one.
those complaints. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was never for me, and I watched it and I was like, oh, that was fine.
Yeah.
That was
Not
fine.
like not amazing, but
I-
I can see why people like it.
Yeah. This is the first one that kind of introduces the idea of the Infinity Stones being a bigger thing.
Yeah. This introduces the purple one. What does the purple one do, Hunter?
That's a power.
Okay, the Power Stone, and it's basically like you have the Collector, who's played by what's his name,
Benicio del Toro.
Benicio del Toro. He's great. I love him, but
He's so good.
he has to like explain to the Guardians what it does and shit, and it's good because you're like, oh wow, that sounds like a
Yeah.
really bad, or not like really bad, but you're like in the movie, in the moment, you're like, oh shit, that's a scary what's the word for it,
I don't know.
plot device that's
Oh,
God,
I don't know.
you know what I'm
MacGuffin.
talking, yeah,
That's
MacGuffin,
not
yeah,
MacGuffin. Oh.
it is technically a MacGuffin in that movie,
Yeah.
but in the moment you're like, wow, that's a really dumb MacGuffin, why are they explaining this to me? And where we're at now, you're like, oh
Yeah.
man, Guardians, thank you.
Yeah,
because
because it's trying to open up. Yeah, this is if Thor: Dark World could be considered it, but not really. This is the first introduction into that bigger, grander, cosmic scale.
Yeah, but
that Guardians has.
Yeah, and it's cool seeing like, because there's really only 2 series. Well, I guess now 3, 2 or 3 characters who have dealings with outer space, or not characters, but God, I don't even know what to call them. You have Guardians, Thor, and fucking Marvel, but
yeah, I mean, I liked it. It's probably the one that I've had the most. The Guardians films, I love them because I have so much fun watching them.
Yeah, those movies are definitely a fun factor, not a well written, not a well choreographed, nothing like that. Yeah. It's just fun to watch.
They're just fun. Yeah.
Yeah, dumb fun. I mean, not. Dumb fun.
It's dumb fun. And Guardians was then followed by a year later. It was followed by Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Woo!
I have it downloaded because I wanted to rewatch it because I watched it. I think I watched it like a year after it came out and never even fucking watched it again.
The Avengers Age of Ultron. That they have the best trailer out of all the MCU.
They do. No, I remember trailer. That. Yeah, you showed it to us. Yeah, that was a good trailer.
It was that. I think that's the best trailer that the MCU's ever made, and it's so suspenseful.
It is.
And that's a case of the trailer being better than.
Yeah, definitely. I think it is. Yeah,
Age of Ultron.
Well, I don't think it's bad.
All right.
It's not garbage. Yeah,
but it doesn't. Avengers 1 is so much better that like, and even then, Avengers 1 was just dumb fun. This one even has a bit of not theology, but not psychology. What's the
philosophy?
Kind of.
Yeah, with Ultron.
Yeah, with Ultron, because I mean, Ultron's a very philosophy-heavy character.
Yeah.
Even in the comics, I'm pretty sure.
I think they did an okay.
They did him okay. It was just.
Yeah, he could have done.
I don't know. There was
better. I love James Spader as Ultron though. I think he was excellent.
Best casting.
He was
once
awesome.
Again.
My favorite part just about that movie is that Ultron gets activated, and then like Jarvis is sitting there talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm supposed to be something." He's like, "I'm a defense thing," and then he starts looking at like humanity, and the first thing he goes is, "Oh no!" I love that. That's his first thing is, "Oh no!" That's literally like his first thing that he does as he starts going through the internet. He's just like, "Oh shit! Oh, we gotta wipe it all. We gotta clean it out."
So, is this the movie that introduces Vision?
Yes. So this one picks up where it's really cool. The beginning of it's awesome because it starts straight away. All the Avengers are assaulting a castle in I think it's called Sokovia. It's supposed to be it's like
it's basically
it's a fictional Slavic.
Yeah, it's let's just say it's Croatia.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's exactly
or
what it is.
Serbia or fucking Bosnia or some Hungary or I don't know, somewhere in there.
Exactly. Yeah, it picks up with the team, all the Avengers assaulting this castle pretty much, and it's pretty cool. It has a nice little shot where it's like tracking.
Yeah, it's
Captain America, and then it goes to another people.
It looks cool. Yeah, it's
really
a good
cool.
setup for the movie. But
it's a good way to open it.
It kind of it slows down, and then it slows down, and then it introduces Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver.
Well, yeah, because they get introduced there.
They are. Yeah. I told you haven't seen this movie in forever.
It's one of the coolest parts that I liked about the film is that it's at the end of like the opening sequence before the title. What happens is they assault the base, they get beat up everybody, but then Scarlet Witch does a little mind trick on Tony Stark when he walks in. She peers into his head, gives him a vision of all the Avengers around him being dead, and then Steve Rogers are still somewhat alive, and then he like grabs Tony Stark and he goes, "Why didn't you do more? You could have saved us." I think that's the exact line. And then he snaps back out of it, and then he grabs Loki's scepter, and then the title credits go. And it's really cool because it's this look that they have on Tony Stark has this look where he's grabbing it, and it's like, oh, he's kind of, what did she do to him? He's kind of got this not menacing look, but it's like, it's not the normal Tony Stark, and that's kind of the Stark look. Yeah, because then he goes, because he's all freaked out because he's got PTSD or whatever from knowing that there's another threat. And then also in that film, he's talking to Banner when he's creating Ultron, and he goes, "What I saw up there, that's the end game." Meh.
Really?
Yeah, that's what. That's the line. Because
Kevin Feige
Yeah.
he's just like,
No, that's literally it. No, that's. I'm not even
He's
joking.
like reading
that's
over
it.
the script. He's like, wait, come here. He circles the line. He's like, in between these, put an end game. Any. And they're like,
Yeah.
why?
It's
And
like,
he's
why?
like, you'll see. And he's like sitting there in theaters. He's like, I think this movie's gorgeous. It's the best one I've ever seen. And
Yeah. No, that's literally it, and it's really cool. The characters they introduced, Wanda Maximoff, and I forgot the brother's name because
Hugo
Quicksilver.
Maximoff.
And
There we go.
Quicksilver.
Nailed it.
is that it?
No, I have no idea.
No, might be it. And then also Vision, and Vision's cool. He gets
Yeah. He's cool, but he's also apparently they
weird.
build the Infinity Stone, right?
No, they don't build it. So what happens is the Mind Stone is in Loki's scepter. You don't
Oh,
realize that until halfway through the film where Ultron crushes it, and then he's like, I'm going to put this in my robot buddy that I want. And then they
Why
steal
would
it.
he do that?
What?
Why would he do that?
Why did he do what?
Well, there you go. Welcome
did
to
he put
Age
it
of
in Vision?
Ultron. Why?
He puts it in Vision
Why?
because the reason why Vision is called Vision is because it's Ultron's vision of his like other counterpart that'll help him. But then what happens is the Avengers steal
Vision and put
the
Jarvis
Vision, while he's still being, I guess, created or whatever, and then they just put Jarvis in it, and then Thor powers it, and then it's
God, that movie sounds ridiculous. I'm gonna have to rewatch it just to see.
it's
how
really weird. The
ridiculous it
only
is.
it's okay.
Also,
it's just
this
okay.
podcast is gonna be a little bit longer. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Stefan.
No, it's fine. I
Um,
got this.
But
and then the cool part is the Hulkbuster suit. That's a really fun fight.
that it was fun, but it was dumb.
It is dumb, but it's funny when it happens.
Yeah.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Yeah. God, he's just such a good actor.
He's
The
excellent.
shit he says is so fucking funny in those movies. Like specifically in Iron Man 3 when he just talks shit to this kid.
Dude, it's so good.
funny.
And the thing is, like anybody else would deliver that and kind of. I mean, he is kind of being an asshole, but it's like
But everyone
it's
else
that
would
kind
feel
of asshole
bad
you want
about
to
it.
root for.
He
Yeah,
doesn't look like he feels bad about talking shit
Yeah.
to a kid.
yeah. You're still like that's Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, after Age of Ultron, and Age of Ultron doesn't do much actually to set up the larger universe. Now that I think about it,
No, it
besides
doesn't. Well,
just making
it
Vision.
sets
that-
up Civil War, and I think that's
Oh, yeah.
retroactively.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
yeah,
honest.
it is. Yeah,
'Cause-
that's the only.
because
thing.
I distinctly remember in Age of Ultron they say everyone's evacuated from the city.
Yeah,
And
No,
then
yeah.
and then in Civil War they're like, my son died, and you're like, huh?
What?
Everyone was evacuated.
Yeah,
But
I
you
don't-
know, whatever.
yeah. And then 6 months later, Ant-Man released.
Oh yeah, Ant-Man. That
Um,
was, to be fair, that was a film ruined by changing of people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wasn't it
I,
supposed
Because
to
who was
initially
the
be-
first writer?
Oh,
Edgar Wright.
what's his name?
Edgar Wright.
Yeah,
I fucking love
supposed to
Edgar
be
Wright.
him.
they fucking they
can't
should
believe
have
they
done
took
it
him out.
right.
Yeah.
It should have been him.
It
I
they
think-
don't.
And even
Even if it
even
didn't
when
factor it.
when he came out and said what scenes he did, people were like, "Yeah, those are the best scenes."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, they like have Ant-Man be this character that isn't connected to the MCU, but is just made by a really great director. Like
Yeah.
they were really missing out
They
on
did.
that. That I
I watched this movie on Sunday, and the entire time I was watching it, I was like, "Man, if only they gave it to Edgar Wright." I mean, it's not bad. It's just
not
that it's
terrible.
like you can,
It's just
you
know
can see,
you can see where it could have been better.
yeah, you can be like, "Oh
like
man." if they
there's
had
a
just
couple
done
scenes
this."
where you're like, "Oh, I know Edgar Wright style. I know what he was leading up to here." But I
Yeah.
can tell it changed somewhere in between these two scenes, and
yeah,
so it has a
no,
completely different meaning.
yeah, no, that's exactly
But it's still
it. I mean,
still
it's
good.
okay.
Paul Rudd.
He's
At
great.
first, he was a weird choice for Ant-Man. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
From what I've seen of like comics and animated stuff,
Well, because it's normally Hank
he,
Pym.
yeah, he was
It's
usually
always
like,
Hank Pym.
yeah, like he was kind of a dude. He wasn't like a Joker runaway. I guess he wasn't a runaway father, but
He was a scientist.
he was a scientist too. It was odd, but I
Yeah.
think it worked, especially for the MCU and where they ended up. It worked.
Yeah, because we already have too many smart people. Bruce Banner.
We do have a lot of fucking
Tony Stark.
Vision.
Nick Fury's a smart guy.
Meh.
Vision.
He's more experienced. I'd call Nick Fury
Yeah.
experienced, not.
Yeah, his secrets have
He's
secrets.
wise. He's wise, not intelligent, to put it in D&D terms.
His intelligence stat is not that high.
I mean, I'd still put it like a 12, but I'd say his
No, it's still
wisdom is
high.
like 19.
Yeah, his wisdom. Yeah,
Except for Marvel. Captain Marvel, that is.
in Captain Marvel. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. They make him look like a.
Yeah,
fucking
he's
goof.
a 5 on everything in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
It's like, strength, I can't even pick up this fucking green bean. Motherfucker!
And then, because Antman came out in, that was their fall movie, and then 6 months later, or usually they do it like 6 months, but sometimes like 5. This actually I think came out in May, but Captain America: Civil War.
Hold on, I just want to point out, Hunter was ready for this. He has a little paper, months,
Seriously.
dates.
Well, no, this is just the paper
wait,
that,
is that-
I've been going off of for checking my list off.
Yeah, he's like, all right, watched that movie, jerked off to it 3 times. Watched that movie, jerked off twice. Guardians of the Galaxy, 8.
Jesus Christ.
Times, yeah.
He's like memorized them all.
No, he has a paper. He's listening.
No,
he's
I'm not.
listening
No, I'm
them
not
off.
reading. I'm actually not reading the dates.
Oh, you're
I have
just
the years.
guessing?
I have the years, but the months and stuff.
Oh, you're just
Although I
guessing.
don't have the years for all of them actually, but I do remember. I do remember specifically when Civil War came out. That was May 2016.
Yeah, Civil War is a great movie.
It is so good.
Do you? I think I talked to you about this, Stefan. You didn't like this one, I thought.
Stefan did not like this one.
I kind of.
I didn't like it on first watch either. To be fair,
Oh, I loved it.
I didn't like it
I
only
loved it.
because it felt forced. But the more the more you think about it, it doesn't feel as forced. Especially when the first meeting of the Avengers was like rocky to begin with. You know, it's like in a relationship if like you meet somebody and you both call each other cunts, and the only reason you're friends is because your other friends here. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
After rewatching a lot of it, you're like, oh yeah, they're not actually buddies.
Yeah, that
they're
divide.
they're coworkers.
Yeah, that divide was already there, and then all it took was just because Captain America's rock solid in
I
his
accidentally
ideals.
just explained the entire plot of that movie, didn't I?
He did. Yeah. I mean, I loved it. I thought it was excellent because it isn't. It's more or less just like it's just friends fighting pretty much. Well, not really actually.
I
Never
mean,
mind.
it's a civil war. Let's be honest.
It is a
it's
civil
not
war.
it's not as cool as the comics, and I've read some
No.
the Civil War
Because in the
comics.
comics,
are
people get killed.
bonkers. Those are
People
bonkers.
are dying.
And
yeah.
and people thought that's what's gonna happen. In this one, we're like, oh shit, people's gonna die.
Someone's
Shit.
gonna get killed.
One broken leg. That's it.
Yeah. He just
Fucking
gets paralyzed from the waist down.
But then they give him a magic leg.
Magic legs.
Magic
Yeah.
legs. Robo legs.
Robo-
He can walk around now.
We made him faster, stronger.
I
He is
I mean,
Iron Man.
mean, it's cool. It's awesome to just see them fight. And then the one thing I like though is that it ends with it. It's not a happy ending. It's really not.
No,
Yeah,
it
that's
ends
my
Like that's what I
favorite
loved
part.
about it.
It's a
That's
bitter ending.
That's how that's why I really like the Russo brothers because even Winter Soldier ends kind of not on a happy note. Shield is completely destroyed. Captain Bucky just kind of walks away, and then Captain America just is left with nothing. He's like, the people I trusted
He's a
were
broken
Nazis.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this one picks up kind of like after
Everyone
that.
I loved were Nazis.
Yeah. And then this one's kind of like it's more or less the same. It's like, hey, yeah, Cap, you can't. We're, you know, it's everybody's up
it's-
just against Cap. I liked it.
I do. I
loved
like
it.
that one.
And it introduced Black Panther and Spider-Man.
And can I say, I hate the Black Panther movie, but
But
was
his
he not the
introduction-
fucking coolest dude
Oh
in
my
that
God.
fucking movie?
Oh
He was
yeah.
so badass. When he first shows up, I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
well,
yeah.
Like I was like T'Challa. That name seems familiar, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, why are they focusing so much on this little nation, Wakanda? And I'm like, Wakanda's not real. I know the
Yeah.
map of Africa. What the fuck's going
Yeah.
on? And he's like in a Black Panther. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh,
Oh shit. It was
This
super
is it.
cool. But in the Black
and then the
Panther,
spider guy shows up. Oh, that was
I
refreshing.
didn't like that one as much, but
I
because it was
I
kind of
liked it
out of
just
the
because it
blue.
was like- It does
Yeah.
because I think it was like literally they were like halfway through filming this film, and then they're like, Sony was like, just the one Sony exec is at his desk, and he's just like, he's got a round in the chamber, and he's like, no, you know what, just take the character, all right, and then he puts it back in his desk. But I like
although
it.
wasn't he in the trailer? I thought
Who?
Spider-Man
No,
was in
yeah,
the trailer.
no, he was.
Okay,
No, I mean
so
they were
people
they were in the process. I don't think they were in the process of filming. I'm
They
pretty
were
sure
in
they
post
were
production,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were
When they-
editing and
and they
graphic
shot a
design.
couple more scenes. With
Was it?
them. Yeah.
Huh.
I think it was literally like they were they finished shooting, and then they I might have read this wrong, but I thought like they finished the film and then they're like, oh shit, we just got Spider-Man, and then they're like, okay, we can put him in there because he's all CGI, and then we
Yeah.
shoot a couple scenes with Tony Stark and Peter
Oh
Parker.
yeah. I guess
wish-
yeah.
I wish they wouldn't make him CGI. I wish they'd just have a person like in a full body green suit, just like doing dumb shit.
Yeah, I don't like that CGI Spider.
It's all right. I will say that
Yeah.
it's all right, but sometimes it looks a little cartoony.
Yeah.
So I guess
I mean, it's
and
good.
basically this is Avengers 3. Let's be honest.
Pretty much.
Captain
yeah,
America
it's
Civil
not-
War
it's
should have
not-
been Avengers Civil War,
Yeah.
not a Captain America.
To me,
movie.
this one also had a really good villain. I liked.
Yeah.
Eh,
I like the villain.
He was good.
eh.
His
I wish
moves
we
were
saw
alright.
more of him.
Yeah.
Basically, we see him and he's caught and he's dead.
Yeah.
then they
My
fight.
favorite thing, they have that shot, and it's just because like I like really burly, muscly men. No homo. But when Chris
Uh,
Evans is like pulling the helicopter, I was like, oh my god! Look at his biceps.
Oh yeah, that was great.
God,
I forgot.
so
I
cool.
forgot that was in that movie.
Dude, it's so cool.
It is.
And then that was followed by 6 months later because Doctor Strange came out in November of 2016, and it's the first introduction to the
Are we on Doctor Strange?
sorcerer.
Or is this Doctor
Universe?
Strange? Are we talking about it?
Yeah, it was
Right.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange is all right.
It's okay. I actually just
it
watched
feels
it
super
tonight.
unconnected to the
This is
MCU.
as far as I've gotten. It
It-
does.
But I do like it. Don't get me wrong. I think it's all right, and I think it
Yeah.
looks beautiful.
Oh my
But
god.
the
dude.
villain is generic. The
he
twist
really
is
is.
dumb.
Yeah,
Or
They
you know,
ripped
the
off
after
Inception.
credits.
they did.
Did they?
But
with the
They-
tilting cities and stuff.
they did. But
Yeah,
I think
but
they used it
they
to
did-
better effect.
Yeah, they because they were actually in the city tilting and
Yeah.
shit. It wasn't like one scene and then they left.
Yeah.
In
They were
Inception,
like-
it was literally like, we spent $100,000 on this. Look at it. Isn't it pretty? Ah!
Yeah, that was
and then it was
literally
next
it,
scene.
Yeah. No, that's literally it.
Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
this
The best
one-
part of Inception was not the buildings turning over. It was the dream inside of a dream inside of a dream.
In
In
the
a
hallway
dream.
fight.
Yeah, in the
That too.
hallway fight. That's pretty cool.
There's a lot of good shit in that movie. Let's be honest.
Doctor Strange is cool. I like Benedict Cumbersnatch.
I'm gonna be honest. My dad still doesn't believe he's a real person.
He's not a real person. That is not a
Benedict
real name.
Cumbersnatch is not a real person.
Benedict Cumbersnatch.
Benedict Cumbersnatch wins Oscar
No,
of
he's
the Year.
he's good. He's an excellent actor. I love him.
He's a good
as an
Doctor
actor.
Strange, actually.
And he's
I've,
he's really good as
I
Stephen
read
Strange.
one comic of him in. I mean, that's not a very good example. And I
Yeah.
did see that animated movie that was on Netflix for a while, and that was a really good one too.
I
Kind
never
of weird.
watched it.
It's
I think
it's
my
it's
problem.
it's kind of the same thing as the movie, but a little different. A different, like what's the bad guy at the end? Mako or something. I have
in
come
Doctor
to
Strange?
parlay.
Oh, I remember his name's
Dormammu.
Dormammu. That's right.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain. I literally just finished watching this movie today.
Dormammu.
This is as
I
far
have
as I've
come
gotten.
to bargain.
Yeah. And then he just gets killed 1,000 times.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
That part's cool.
Yeah,
This
it's
is- I don't like.
I like Doctor Strange. I don't think he fits in well with our MCU.
And I think he's a ripoff of Tony Stark.
Is he? Oh, he kind of
just the cocky, kind of like
he is
charismatic.
Yeah, he is.
Now that
and he goes through the same type of journey that Tony.
right.
The same because his movie counterpart seems different than his comic book one. I don't think he's cocky in that one, in the comic books. But then again, I haven't read a lot of them, so
I don't know. Yeah, he is. He does. Yeah, he does go through the same character.
That's why I don't care for that one. Is because I'm like, you're just doing a magic Tony Stark.
Yeah,
and,
that's literally what it is. You're right.
With forgettable villain, lots of CGI.
It looked good though. It looked good.
It's not one of my favorites, but
yeah, it's not my favorite. It's decent.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that.
Back, yeah.
Had to
quick intermission.
blow my nose, take a little bathroom break.
So we finished with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange.
Now,
Guardians 2
came out. Yeah, came out. Because Doctor Strange came out in November of 2016. Guardians of the Galaxy came out in the
February.
summer. I don't remember. I think it was a.
It says February. I'm pretty sure.
I think it was a July movie.
Maybe I don't know. I don't care.
It was June or July 2017.
It was.
Doesn't matter.
Guardians 2. It's a hard movie to talk about.
Yeah.
I really don't like this one.
You don't like it?
I think it's subjective. Here's my thing: is I'm honestly 100% sure it's subjective, because it is about having daddy issues. Like I say that with very much not parentheses, but quotations.
That's not my problem with it, though.
Is it not? Because that's my biggest problem. Is because I don't care about anything in there.
I think that one. My brief problems with Guardians of the Galaxy, the company being a little bit overbearing, is multiplied by 11, and it's just even worse.
Yeah.
The tone is so weird and off, and the comedy's terrible, and I do not like that one.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one thing I like about that.
Yeah, that
I
makes
think all
sense.
the actors are given half-assed performances.
Especially
I do like the
Chris
soundtrack.
Pratt.
No,
I
not
think
Chris.
that's the
I
only
was saying
thing I
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
He definitely gave
Kurt
a
Russell
half-ass.
just showed up. I don't know. Kurt Russell just showed up on set and played
He
himself.
clocked in. Yeah, he clocked in and clocked out. Let's be honest.
That's pretty much what he did.
I hate the climax. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I find
do
it
like
very
the
subjective.
I
chain
liked it just
playing.
because it was fun. Like again,
That's
I
the
just
thing.
had fun.
I also didn't even think it was fun.
You didn't think
No,
it was fun?
I didn't either.
Wow.
Well, here's my thing. Is we were stuck on a planet. Like, you had the first scene, and it was like, they're bitching. Raccoon and Chris Pratt are bitching. And they're bitching. And sure, that the opening scene was really good, and it kind of, like, spiraled out of control. Like, the aliens were interesting, or I guess they're aliens. And then, like, you're like, oh, yeah, and, like, going through an asteroid field, oh, it's dangerous. You're like, I've seen Star Wars, too.
Yeah.
And then they crash, and, like, his father just shows up, or what. It's just, everything's, like... And then, like, after that, after the first 30 minutes, you're stuck on that planet for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
It's either that or
Get used to it.
Raccoon's talking to what's his name, and they're going through the warp drive. That's it.
Yeah.
I will say though, the little things with Mohawk dude are really cool. I do like him.
Michael Rooker?
Yeah, his
Yondu?
Yeah, I like him in Guardians 1 and 2, especially in 2. He has the best character arc, which is kind of sad.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
But it's kind of boring. It's not really fun.
I think it's watchable.
It's melodramatic.
Yeah.
I think it's watchable. I
think me and Duffy agree on this one.
I'm literally every time I think I should
recommend?
rewatch it, I don't want to.
I don't recommend it. Stay away.
I only watched it the first time, so I'm gonna go watch it a second time.
Go
I'll let
rewatch
you guys
it, and
know.
I'm gonna rewatch Ultron and this one, and we probably won't talk about it next time we talk. But
no, we won't. But
it's still just I don't think that they're very I don't think the second is just very.
I don't think it's as good as the first for sure.
Yeah, no,
but
definitely. But
I don't think it's
just
the worst. No.
I'm not saying it's the worst. I'm just saying it's not fun for me, and it's melodramatic, and I hate melodramatic.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe I'm using that word wrong. Maybe it's just completely uber dramatic to me. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
let's move on.
Yeah.
So after that, we then had Spider-Man Homecoming, which released in what was it? Was it August? I think it was August. It was like August 10th, 2017.
Which, if you didn't know, this is actually made by Sony, not Disney.
Well, yeah, it's made by Sony with
To be connected to that,
cooperation?
yeah, cooperation, being part of the MCU,
Yeah.
but it's still Sony. That's why
It's still-
that's why the trailer for the Spider-Man film, what is it? Far From Home. That's why that one came out so
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
Is like before
'Cause
Endgame, is because
dictate
Sony
how
said,
they wanna-
yeah, they still get to dictate
still
when they
own
release
it,
trailers
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, they still own it.
Spider-Man Homecoming's I like it because it doesn't we don't have to sit there and do with the origin story again. We don't go through that.
Yeah.
I think it's just a basic Spider-Man story. The idea that Spider-Man just goes up against a villain that he has kind of a personal connection to, not really, not so much, which is why I think it's a little weak, even though I love
Oh, I like Vulture. I think he's a great
Michael Keaton's Vulture. I think it's so
He's
well
the best
done.
part of that movie.
He's so good.
yeah.
That scene when they're in the car. God,
It's good.
that was so
Oh,
well
shit.
done.
There's
I
good
do
scenes
think
in
Tom.
there.
I do think Tom Holland's a good Spider-Man.
I think
He
he's a
is.
really good Spider-Man.
Well, to be fair,
think-
we've had. I honestly think we've had 3 good Spider-Mans.
We have.
Andrew Garfield was less of a good Spider-Man.
Yeah, his is probably the least.
He's the
But
least
I-
good, but he's
I
still
thought he
Peter
was-
Parker.
Yeah, he still did a great job.
I thought he was better as Spider-Man than Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield.
Who
yeah,
was-
yeah.
Tom Holland?
Oh, Andrew Garfield was a better Spider-Man, but not a good. Like,
Not a good Peter Parker.
like he's just like a hipster.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
Peter
yeah.
Parker.
He is.
He's
Yeah.
riding his skateboard around. And he's,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
edgy.
Yeah.
He's not very Peter Parker, but he's a good Spider-Man.
But
Yeah.
yeah, Spider-Man, he's got the quips down. And, I don't know. We're talking about
Yeah.
The Rock Spider-Man.
But
Yeah.
Homecoming is it's a
cool.
bit too long for my tastes, and it kind
Yeah.
and especially where it's placed in the MCU, it feels
It's really odd.
it just feels like blown out of proportion.
Yeah, it is because it's like we have these cosmic threats now, and then it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I get it though, because Spider-Man is supposed to just be this
Yeah, friendly neighborhood.
Yeah,
get
I
it,
like
but
that's
You
one
could
of
have
the
at
main
least
big themes.
introduced like Fisk or Green Goblin. Well, I guess not. Green
Yeah,
Goblin,
something
but-
that's a little more grand scale that
Yeah.
you know.
Fuck, Into the Spider-Verse was even fucking more grand scale than that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, it's good. The relationship
It's
between
alright.
Tony Stark and Spider-Man, I actually really
Yeah.
it's
good.
excellent.
I like that
It's
part.
fantastic.
Yeah.
How he's kind of like a surrogate. How
A surrogate father, yeah.
yeah, it's really cool.
And even
I really
there's
like
even
that. and
some
the way
parts
that
where
that
like
worked out.
Tony Stark is talking about how he's like, I've never really done this before. My father wasn't much of a father. Like, it's almost
Yeah.
a word for word quote. And he's talking to Spider-Man like that. But Spider-Man's off doing Spider-Man stuff, so he's not really
Yeah.
listening. But it's like, it hits you kind of deep.
Yeah,
Especially when we
it's-
get to Infinity War.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
not the next one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
In release order again. It's not necessarily chronological. We're going in release order.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then after this, what came out in November of 2017,
Wakanda.
probably one of my probably one of my favorite. I don't know that Ragnarok. Thor
it's
Oh,
Ragnarok.
yeah, Thor Ragnarok.
Thor
it's
Ragnarok.
It's probably my second favorite.
I
Now,
love it.
I've heard people don't like the comedy. And to them, fuck you, Takeda Waititi.
Yeah,
Takada Waititi is a fucking genius. I love him.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
God, he's
comedy-
So good.
I
He's
would
so
say,
good.
like, compared to Guardians of the Galaxy, like, comedy-wise,
This
more of
one's
these
better.
jokes land.
Yeah.
I think the humor that Taika Waititi brings is way better written, and
Oh yeah.
He understands
And it's-
comedy.
and the
and-
timing. And
It's so perfect. Oh.
And even though, I mean, you could say, like, oh, well, he has to complain about the Guardians of the Galaxy. When it comes to, like, Thor, it's the same. But it's like, I think this is more straightforward as being a comedy and not trying to balance both tones.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. That's what I loved about this is because like it's the best version of Thor, because Thor being this like in all the other films up until this, he's portrayed always as this kind of like I don't even know. He's pretty much just like a
Cocky
space
prince.
version, of like of like a cocky prince or whatever, and he's just kind of like just does that stuff. Here they're like he's kind of a goof. He's kind of this just like
he's like a surfer bro or something.
Yeah, he's kind of this goof.
Well, he's kind of
guy.
he's out of his element, to be honest.
Oh,
No
yeah.
hammer, no powers.
Yes.
He's
Which
definitely
is why,
out of his element.
Which is why I think this movie is why I think because this movie existing makes Thor 1 even worse, because
Definitely.
Thor Ragnarok is just Thor 1 but 10 times better. Same idea. He has to rediscover what it means to be an Asgardian, what it means to be Thor, because he loses his powers. He has to go through the same idea of he has to rediscover who he is.
God, you're right.
And
holy shit, you're right.
literally, it's the exact same thing but it's just done. It's executed so much. It's so better. It's excellent.
Yeah.
And you got Jeff Goldblum. Got fucking Jeff Goldblum. Every single time he's on there, he's awesome. Tessa
fucking
Thompson,
hilarious.
she's badass.
Yeah, she's good.
Um,
I like her.
Yeah,
I wish she
she's
was
great.
in more. I
Valkyrie?
wish she didn't die.
Yeah, Valkyrie's so cool.
I think she's still alive.
No, yeah, it's confirmed that she's survived. She's part of the half that
she's
survived.
probably the half that survived.
Is
But
she
she
gonna
didn't
help?
fight Thanos.
I don't think she's gonna help. I don't know if she's gonna. I don't know.
I mean, whatever. I like her.
She's
I
great.
hope in Thor 4 or whatever, she's in it. That's
Yeah,
all I hope
I
for.
hope.
Yeah.
She's
and then-
cool.
Hulk shows up. Hulk is
Especially-
great in this.
Yeah, Hulk show. Yeah, everything.
It's not even Mark
fantastic.
Ruffalo. For the most part, it's mostly Hulk.
Yeah. Hulk has a
Great.
character now. It's great.
Yeah.
Great like buddy cop dynamic.
I forget.
did.
Wait, hold on.
Between
How did Hulk end up?
It's not
just
necessary.
got-
He just gets in the ship at the end of
gets-
Age of Ultron, and then he just ends up there. You
Yeah.
don't
Oh yeah,
know
yeah. Now
how.
I remember.
He just ends up there.
They
That's
just
all I need
lose
to
their
know.
Hulk, and he's just like
Yeah.
appeared on Planet Hulk. Or
Yeah,
well,
and
not
in Planet Hulk, and
but-
he's just
Yeah,
well,
he's
not
just-
Planet Hulk, but
yeah, but he's still
basically
badass.
is.
It's hilarious.
I love that.
I'm
and
gonna be
then-
honest. That film reinstituted MCU-ness to me.
It did for me as well. I
It
like 'cause
reinvigorated me.
because think about the ones before that: Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Doctor Strange.
They were
maybe
very,
Civil War, but you also had Antman.
Meh.
But like, yeah, it was
Yeah.
just like
It was
like,
definitely like they fired like 4 shots into the dark and they all missed.
yeah, you
Not
started
even
yeah,
into the
you
dark.
started to see
They had the
pattern.
target dead in front of them, and they kind of hit the outside 5 times,
Yeah.
and then the 6th time was a bullseye. It was
Yeah,
really
Ragnarok
odd.
was so good.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that Ragnarok was then followed up 3 months later because I believe it released in February, January.
No, it was
yeah.
no, it was March
February.
or May.
No, it
Infinity
wasn't.
War?
No,
No,
not Infinity War.
What?
Black
came after
Panther.
No.
Wakanda Forever, dude. Black Panther.
Well, hold on, I thought Black Panther. Shit, are you for real?
No, in
Yeah.
release order, which is why it's weird because Black Panther
No.
technically takes place directly after Civil War, but in release order, it went Ragnarok and then Black Panther.
I don't think
No,
you're right.
Ragnarok was 2017. Black Panther
Yeah.
was
2018.
February 2018.
Yeah, February. I remember because it was cold when we went and saw that shit.
Oh yeah, you're right. Shit, dude. I
Yeah.
totally forgot Black Panther. I've switched
I
what Thor
completely
was
forgot
and Black Panther was. I thought Thor
Well, 'cause
directly led into Infinity
chronologically-
War.
Well, it does. Chronologically, it does. Black Panther does not lead directly into Infinity War. Literally, at the end of Thor Ragnarok, in the end credit scene where there's
You see- yeah,
Thanos'
you see
ship
Thanos'
in
ship.
front of it, it's like, oh, then that Infinity War starts right then. But Black Panther, technically, that's why Black Panther kind of left a bad taste in my mouth because it's like, this is what I'm watching before Infinity War.
Interrupted.
It did.
It was kind of like you're sitting there, you're stroking your ding dong a little bit, and you're like, oh yeah, you're almost ready, and then your mom walks in, you're like, ah! Except I guess your mom is now black.
Yeah, except now it's yeah.
And is ashamed of you for being
now
a colonizer.
Yeah, now it's Chadwick Boseman.
My mom is Chadwick Boseman.
I mean,
But that's
It's-
really how it felt.
yeah,
Someone
Black
interrupted
Panther,
the groove You know, someone took the little music playing thing off the record, it scratched a little, and you're like, what the fuck, dude? And it's Chadwick Boseman, there's like, Wakanda forever, and then he puts it back down, and you're like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
My problem with the film is this is the point where I really started to realize the Marvel formula.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the most Marvel formulaic movie.
It's the most formulaic, dull. It was probably the most bored I've ever been watching a Marvel.
Definitely.
I fell asleep.
I'm okay with
you
the...
did.
Yeah,
you did fall asleep, didn't you?
I fell asleep in the two most boring movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, Stefan fell asleep in Captain Marvel
Captain
and
Marvel
in Black
and this
Panther.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, I'm okay with the Marvel formula. Like, I know it's formulaic and stuff like that,
Dude,
and I'm
but
like, okay, I feel like I've seen
Black
it
Panther
before.
has it the worst.
It does, but the main issue that I have with the film is specifically that, again, he was so good in Civil War when he was introduced. I was like, I want to see more of that
He's
guy.
such a badass in Civil War.
Yeah, and then he comes up in here, and he's really not, like, there's just not...
He feels like a side character. I think he has
He
less
does.
screen time than some other characters.
He really does feel like a side character in it, and it's
I think you're right.
unfortunate. And then also, to me, the biggest problem was all the fight scenes happened
Oh, God.
at night.
Well,
And when there's the
we
one
saw
that happens during the day, they then go into an underground train tunnel where everything's dark, and it's like, I can't see anything.
I think they really cheesed out too on the CGI because it's like they're putting all their money into it.
Somebody
Matrix.
compared it to one of them PS2 fighter game CGI
Yeah.
trailers.
It really is. It's like that. It looks so
Especially
fake.
the climax where they're
Oh,
fighting in the
God.
tunnel.
It was
and
so
it's just-
bad.
It was terrible.
I mean,
It did not
also,
look
like,
good at all.
mechanically, it was terrible because they're both invincible
Yeah.
until the train comes, and I'm like, well, that's a dumb fight. Just do what they did in Phantom Menace and, like, meditate or some shit. At least that
Yeah.
told you a little bit more about their characters. This was
Yeah.
they're just like, bah, scratch, scratch, bah,
Yeah, and people
you're
talking
like,
about
you're
this
not
being
doing
the best
anything.
villain. I hated that. Fucking, what was his
Well,
name?
they call him the best villain because he was, I mean, I hate to say it, but he was basically dog whistling the whole fucking movie. Do you guys understand
Yeah.
the definition?
No, yeah. No, I get it, but I mean that doesn't make it a good
Yeah,
villain.
yeah.
To me, it just that's not.
Like, he felt out of place.
Yeah, it felt
Especially for someone who was a CIA trained killer.
Yeah.
He felt definitely. I mean, it's the MCU. I get that.
I'm not even. My problem with him isn't even his motivation. The fact that he's just like the inverse of the.
Yeah.
And that's literally it. And that's a problem with the formula, the Marvel
He's
formula.
just, he's
that is-
inverse
yeah.
Black Panther.
Yeah, they do
Literally
that a
and
lot,
figuratively.
And it doesn't by this point in the movies. It's a little
MCU.
burned out.
It's definitely.
Yeah, that was a nice little rant.
Yeah,
All right,
but
so that's Black
next
Panther.
movie, Infinity War.
Yes.
It's. I'll put it this
I
way.
don't even know.
Here's how much I like this movie. It is the only movie I've ever seen twice in theaters.
Damn.
I never watch movies twice in theaters. This was a movie I watched the first time. I went, wow. And then I was talking about it with a friend. And he's like, dude, you want to go see it again? I'm like, hell yeah. And he's like, all right, let's go watch this again. It was just one of those movies that, like, I liked it so much I watched it twice in theaters. Of course, I haven't seen it since then because it's burned in my brain, but...
Yeah, I watched it twice in theaters as well, and I've seen it, I think, 2 more times after that.
I worked at the movie theater.
Oh,
I
yeah.
worked at the movie theater
Right, I forgot.
while I was playing at the theater, and I saw that film's ending so many times that I just like I would come to the theater that I was playing, and I'd be like, okay, I gotta catch the end scene where they all get dusted, and I would just like sit there and watch it every time. I love that
so
ending.
good, Mr. Stark.
I can't wait to get, because like I still have a couple more movies to watch.
Dude,
I
it's
still have
so... Like, the reaction to that movie was phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
I have never seen a community be built and destroyed in one day.
like
Dude.
the crowd.
the people
I would
the people who said like specifically, I was on Reddit when that movie was around. I'm not on it anymore because Reddit sucks ass and it's a vacuum chamber. But Thanos /Thanos did nothing wrong was the highlight of every day after I watched that movie. It was. Oh, yeah. It is just like Thanos made a fan base for himself.
Yeah.
Just being like that's how good, not good of a villain, but maybe I don't even know. He was just
he is an excellent villain. He's probably,
I guess so.
He's
Yeah,
the best.
He's probably
He's
one
the
of the
be-
most
he's the
memorable villains, I'd say, in a film since any film since fucking The Dark Knight, since the Joker.
Yeah, definitely that.
And in my opinion, I think Thanos is maybe just a little bit better as like a character.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think he.
As a
I
character,
know.
yeah.
I mean, performance wise,
I don't like
like
Dark Knight. So
I think performance wise, I don't know. It's really hard to beat
I guess
Heath Ledger's performance, but I'd say like the way he's written and executed it in this film, and it's so.
I mean, yeah, the acting, I mean, he is a.
I mean,
I
it's
hate to
his
say
film.
it, but he is a sympathetic. Yeah, like there's that. I think it's Nerd Writer or whatever. He does the thing like maybe it's not Nerd Writer, but like the protagonist of Infinity War is Thanos, not the Avengers. And then the more you think about it, you're like, oh shit.
It is.
The protagonist was
all these
yeah.
flipping people just keep getting in his way.
Yeah, dude, he's just trying to snap.
He's just trying to snap. Why can't a man snap?
Why can't a man just snap? But yeah, it's so
it's
good.
in my
It's a really good film.
It's a colossal film. It's so good.
That's a good word for it, colossal. Yeah,
it is.
The
I
scope.
mean, it is.
I'll put it this way: this is a film like when people talk about films you need to watch like years later, like Star Wars: A New Hope. You know, there are very few movies that came out in the 70s that people are like, yeah, you need to watch that still. But like, I imagine when people are 40, 50 years old, they'll be like, shit. When I was your age, we was watching that Infinity War.
Yeah, but it does help having have seen all the other. I mean, it is the.
Yeah, it is.
Climax
it is
to
built on that. Yeah,
I think it'll be like not the last Jedi, the Empire Strikes Back of this generation.
Yeah.
Where it just shocked. The feeling of just like dread from the audience was just like palpable.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
It is. It was one of those films like
I can't wait to watch
the
it again.
entire time. I don't think I heard anybody whispering.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm trying to think about it right now. If I was ever bothered by anybody in the theater while watching that movie.
I don't think I was.
Well, I mean, it also helps that they play the dun 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 every 30 seconds, but
yeah.
The whole Marvel fan base was just there day one, and Kevin Feige was like, "Yeah, I know, I got you all by the balls."
Yeah,
He's like, "I'm gonna take you on a journey."
He's fondling them. He's like taking out his razor blade. He's like, "We're gonna shave these nice and slow."
Yeah.
God, it's just so well done. Gosh.
Yeah.
It is.
All
right, let's stop praising this movie. Let's talk shit.
Now
there's some
we're
parts
still
that are
going
just
to
not
War?
very good.
In Infinity
I can't think
War?
of any of them.
Infinity War?
I feel bad just being like
praising
this,
it.
Yeah, praising it so hard without.
I don't
any
know,
problem.
dude. It is a movie that I think does. I mean, okay, yeah. There's it like you can find like definitely writing issues and maybe some pacing issues just due to the fact that they have to juggle. I don't know how many characters there are.
Well, all right, I'll put it this way. They probably had more characters than Game of Thrones at one point, right?
Yeah.
And I still think they juggled them better in one fucking. I guess it was 2 hours than Game of Thrones did an entire season.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you're right.
Right?
I don't know. There's it. I mean,
certain seasons.
The comedy points was a little cheesy.
Are there comedic points?
Yeah,
oh
dude.
yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Remember when Drax and Mantis? What did they say?
That's right. Why is Gamora? Yeah, that's right.
Dude, I'm sorry, but Drax is like, that's my funny bone right there.
I love Drax. Every single time he's there, you can't.
We're here to kick face and take butt.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. There's just little comedy moments that I don't think.
The little comedy moments, they kind of feel.
They do detract from it.
They're
just
low.
Because
it's a low blow to the movie, but it kind of helps with this. Like you're like, You're like sitting there. You're like, oh man, half the people are gonna die.
Yeah, they're just getting destroyed.
And then they make a joke, and you're like, I'm so sorry. One of you's gonna die.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you're right.
Although the best part of that movie is hearing how other people who are more emotionally, or who are less emotionally sound than you are, cry when Spider-Man died.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you did cry when Spider-Man dies. It's just so funny to hear that people were crying in theaters when Spider-Man died.
His is the saddest, but I wouldn't.
It's a great.
It's the saddest, but
is.
it's one of those ones you go, oh, that's a kick in the nuts.
It is. It is.
But
it
it's
is just
not really like.
Yeah, it's not when Marley dies in Marley and Me. Come on.
No.
Come on.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. It's no Schindler's List, but still.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't cry if your spider pet died.
Yeah,
okay.
Next
so
movie.
in release order. So.
I'm sorry this has been so long.
Yeah. So the next one that releases in release order. Antman and Wasp.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it.
Which came out in July.
I totally forgot to watch it.
The only ones who have seen it.
You know what the funny part is? I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix.
Stefan doesn't like it. It is on Netflix. I think it's pretty short. I think it's only like.
Yeah, it's only an hour and 40.
Under
I'm
2
pretty
hours.
sure.
Yeah. It is probably the only one where I'm like, it's not required at all. It doesn't. Like,
are you gonna skip it?
Would I say skip it?
Yeah. Are you gonna skip it when you're?
I'm skipping.
You're watching them
all? No, I'm not. I have to watch
of course
them all.
He watched the Hulk movie.
All you need to know is just watch the end credit scene.
Just watch the last. And
everybody dies except for Ant-Man. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just about it.
It's just there to. It's like a palate cleanser after the dark.
It is. Yeah.
Of Infinity
I mean, it's
War.
fun. It does. I think there are some fun moments in there, but it is. Just as the follow up to Infinity War, it's like
it feels like somebody ruined your Wang session. Oh, what the heck?
Yeah.
Discord just totally glitched out for me.
That was weird.
It feels the people on my end heard what I said. They didn't.
I didn't know what you said.
Yeah, I know because OBS caught it, but Discord didn't.
All right.
Now it's a mystery. You're gonna have to watch the podcast on it.
Yeah, it's definitely not a. I don't know.
Just skip it.
Yeah, you could just skip it.
No, definitely skip it.
There's nothing. You're not gonna get too much out of it. And then finally, the most recent one that came out in March of
Marvel.
2019
Captain
is
Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Man.
And so now in April. So
Captain
coming
Marvel
out in April
is the most mediocre film I think I've ever seen.
It is.
They do everything just enough to not be bad.
Yeah. I mean,
I still think it's like there's some parts that are just atrociously bad.
Her character is written just so bad.
I don't know.
What character?
Dude, to be honest, I like the Cap more than any other character in there. And then they ruined Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh my god.
Or not Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury.
I have a sneaking suspicion that Kevin Feige's trying to set up Captain Marvel as like a main leader of the team going forward.
Not.
That's what he said. He said that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I don't know if they're gonna need a lot of character work.
Yeah, like this. That's why I'm scared for Endgame is because they're gonna need those Russo brothers. They're gonna need some fucking oomph behind whatever they're doing.
It is unfortunate.
Maybe not even them. Maybe the writers, because I know there's a lot of writers on these movies. They're gonna need a lot of oomph figuring out how to make this non-character an actual character. I wouldn't have a problem with the movie if she wasn't broken.
Well, yeah, she's also just a bad. I mean, her character's just not written well.
She's so overpowered for the MCU. Like,
yeah.
I want to point this out. If Iron Man flew up and took out spaceships, it would ruin the MCU. If Thor did it, it would ruin the MCU. If anybody did it, it would ruin the MCU. The only reason that the cinematic universe, not the actual comic universe, works is because it's so grounded in reality. Captain Marvel's like, reality? And throws it out the window?
Yeah.
Even when you have Guardians in spaceships, fucking fighting aliens and shit and Nazi religious leaders, it's more grounded than what Captain Marvel somehow accomplished.
What exactly is her power set?
It's not defined. It's literally just she can do what she wants.
It's
basically this. She can fly. She has a mohawk.
And she can shoot lasers.
She shoots lasers that are more powerful than anything we've ever seen before.
Yeah.
But they don't kill people. They blow up ships, but they don't kill people.
Yeah.
I already say fly. She's basically Superman.
Yeah.
She's Superman.
Yeah. It's just a bad
That's the same
taste in
reason
my
I
mouth.
don't like the DC universe. Is Superman's broken.
Yeah. Yeah, because it just doesn't make anything fun. Like, I watched the end of Justice League, and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
I'm sorry I watched this entire movie. I should have just known that Superman was going to do everything for everybody.
Yeah, he literally just does everything that everybody else does, but better.
Yeah, that's...
Like,
that's what Captain Marvel is, and I'm like, oh.
That's what Captain Marvel is, and that's... I hope that they fix that.
Not that they
can't
fix
imagine.
that. I just hope, the fight begins, and she's like, I could take him on all by myself, and she's just knocked out for the rest of the fight.
I hope that. I want that to happen. Not because
I don't like her, just because she'll break the
or
fight.
anything like that. Yeah, just because it's like I just don't want this character that's being injected at the last minute to just then be like, oh no, I'm gonna save everything.
It's a Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Which, if you don't know what that term means, it means
I don't
machine
think they're
god.
gonna do that. I don't think they're gonna do that, but I mean, I know that there's gonna be people that want that to happen. There are people that want that to happen, and
Are there people that want that to happen? I don't know.
Super hardcore feminists.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
Dude, it's crazy.
Like Brie Larson?
Like Brie Larson. No, dude, that movie, the one thing that I hated about that is that it does ruin most of Phase 1, if not all of Phase 1.
It ruins
Nick Fury.
Let's
it
be
does.
honest. It ruins him. Because to put it in perspective, he would still, between 2008 and when does the movie take place? 90.
The movie takes place in 95.
95. Nobody changes that much. Nick Fury is basically playing an entirely God damn it, dude. Samuel Jackson is playing an entirely different character in Captain Marvel than he is in any other MCU film.
Yeah.
It's a different person.
It is.
You get a cut on your eye and you run a thing for what would that be? 3? No. Fuck.
Well, it's over a decade.
13 years.
Yeah.
Because 08, I guess. Well, was he? Yeah, he was in there.
Yeah.
And he had a character there. For 13 years, you don't change to become a trench coat wearing, shaft looking.
Yeah.
He's badass.
Yeah.
And he's just so unbadass in this movie.
Yeah.
And it almost serves
just,
no purpose. If he was a badass, I guess if he was a badass, it would take away from the cat. So I retract my statements. Cat's the best character. What's his name? Goose.
Just the main problem with it is that it just cheapens the whole idea of this being his first idea of oh, let's take these people are cropping up, let's put them in a team together or whatever. It kind of ruins that idea. There's in Winter Soldier when he goes, last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye. It cheapens that whole line and makes it just so.
He said that?
Yeah, he says that that's the exact line in Captain America Winter Soldier.
God.
Last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye, and it cheapens. It makes that.
I didn't think they could do it.
It destroys that. Another thing is that in Avengers, they're having a huge argument. It's in the middle of they're on the ship and they're having an argument, and it's because Captain America goes and finds Shield has Hydra weapons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? Tony Stark hacks into this system and's like, oh, you want to use the cube for weapons, for building weapons. Why are you building weapons? And then what's his name? Nick Fury goes, oh, because of him, points to Thor. And it's once Thor landed, we discovered we were not alone in this universe. And it's wait, no, wait, you found out. No. Years ago.
It feels like nobody watched the MCU before making
They
Captain
did it.
Marvel.
That's the writers of Captain Marvel just decided to. I don't even know.
I don't think they were even I don't know. I fell asleep through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
That was the one I
Stefan didn't
slept-
talk much because
He
he
fell
was
asleep.
asleep.
I remember
I
looking
think-
over.
I think it's somewhere in between. If you've seen the movie, after when her and Samuel Jackson meet up to about
That's-
when they get on the spaceship, Stefan was asleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
was-
shit you not,
it
he
was
missed
so
like
bored.
2/3 of that movie.
You
I
didn't
was
actually
so
miss
freaking-
much. There was really nothing.
Oh yeah, you
to
missed
that.
nothing.
There was no substance.
I was so bored.
There was no
a boring
substance.
movie too.
It was the most boring movie
Yeah,
I've
that's
ever seen.
the worst part. Is it wasn't even dumb fun. It was just boring.
It was.
And the
There was
Stan.
no substance.
By the
to
way,
it.
I don't usually talk about the Stan Lee cameos, but this one was terrible.
It was. It just felt
because
so odd.
yeah, she's on a train looking for a person who can turn into any human, right?
Yeah.
And she stops, looks at Stan Lee, and I'm like, he's the alien. And then she
No,
smiles at
she
him,
just
goes
smiles
to
at
an
him.
old lady and knocks her out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they have the scene. She looks over at him in the bus, and like she smiles at Stan Lee. The camera lingers on it for like seconds, and then they have like
yeah,
this-
it's like
the
a 3-4
music.
seconds, and you don't realize how like long that is until you're in this like really tense scene. If you're ever like really tense, like hiding from somebody, stop and count to 4.
Yeah.
well, and then like it like feels like a screeching, and it just
Yeah.
takes you out of the movie. You're like, oh
and
yeah,
yeah, because this was
they
right
did this
after
'cause
he
he's
died,
dead.
and
you're like,
so it
"Oh."
played the music, like the really like it was like. I bet you it probably played bum 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 bum.
No, it wasn't that.
I
It
know,
was just.
But
nicer.
It's
I
just
could
like a
imagine
little-
it.
yeah, it was like
Yeah,
a
it was
little
like it was a little like
violin.
somber tune,
Yeah.
and they already had a somber tune in the not tune, but tune. God, I can't speak. But in the beginning, they had like "In Memory of Stan Lee," and everybody in the crowd went,
Yeah. It was
"Aw."
awesome.
and they played a
It was
little
wonderful.
music,
That's
and it
all
was
they
good.
need.
And like
Yeah.
and like that was the thing is I was really excited for the movie because it was like, oh man, they're paying so much respect to Stan Lee. I'm like, all right, maybe
They
Did you
got
see
it out
that?
of the way.
Did you guys hear that?
No.
No,
Okay, all right, good. Anyways,
No, I mean they did also already film his for Endgame, so that he is gonna show back up in Endgame. It's just odd.
if Stan Lee leaves, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
ditto.
better,
Yeah, pretty
you
much.
better Princess Leia that guy in.
You better Princess Leia.
Come on, Disney. I know you can do it.
They can. That's the scary part.
Um,
Yeah.
We're
And
done.
then we got
So I
Endgame
guess-
coming out
yeah,
April
Endgame.
26th, so we'll be
I'm
talking
scared,
about
but
that.
I'm ready.
I'm so hyped. I can't wait.
And this is my last Marvel movie I'm gonna watch.
It's
This
probably
is
gonna be
this
my
is
last one,
me and
too,
Stefan's
unless they do
last
Thor.
ones.
I've been watching this.
I
for
will
10
never
years.
I'll never see him in theaters.
You're
No,
never gonna see
I-
them
I've
in
seen
Even
theaters.
if they have a 9.7 IMDb, I won't see him in theaters anymore.
Ooh.
I've seen every one for like 10 years, and it's really
Yeah.
starting to like bother me. So I mean,
It's affecting
Infinity
me
War was
mentally.
a good precursor to the final chapter for me, and I'm like, I'm done. This is my
Yeah.
last one.
Yeah.
I don't care what
I'm pretty much in
cliffhanger
agreement.
they leave, which I'm done. So
I'm just gonna.
I'm looking forward to it.
oh,
It's the
yeah.
end.
I think I'll be checking out, and then I'll be hopping on that Sony verse, Sony
Yeah, I'll still watch Venom.
Venom verse. Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Hell yeah, dude.
We gotta do a
Venomverse.
whole podcast on Venom. Like, we know it's a bad movie, but I think we laughed so hard in that theater
It's-
that I
it's an
actually love
entertaining
that
film.
movie.
It's such an entertaining film. It's
I
so
remember
fun. To
I
watch.
remember laughing so hard I cried in 3 distinct places. And I've rewatched the movie. I haven't like laughed that hard when I was rewatching it.
I think because I was just there, and I was in a mood, and I was just
Oh
like,
yeah. Well, also there's a lot of other history behind, specifically between all of us, for that film. That just when it was
Is there?
very surreal. The
Yeah.
prequel to the
We'll have to
sequel.
cover that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that shit.
We'll talk about it some other time, but
Yeah. I'll write that
God.
down. I'll write that down. Hold on.
dude. I mean, that was the main thing that got me. Is every single time, like, just sitting there and finally watching that film, I was like, "Wow, this is it.
All the
This is
hype.
it. This was Stefan."
That
We'll
was-
cover
Yeah,
Well,
that
this
was
is a
that was a
backstory.
meme. That was a meme. Like what?
That
3
was-
years in the making.
That was our Kevin Feige.
Our Kevin Feige moment.
Yeah, of like it's connected now. It's come full circle.
Say Endgame in between these. Say it. Say it. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I just Feige'd all over this movie.
yeah, dude. So next week we'll be talking about that. Correct. Endgame.
Next Sunday, catch us then. I've
it
been
next-
your host, Brendan. That's been Stefan.
Ayo.
And that's been Hunter.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Or listening. Fuck.